several stories to run by you today. We'll start on the lighter note. Anya Taylor-Joy confirmed that she got married 2 years ago.
What? 2?
Yeah. She said 2 years ago on April Fool's, I secretly married my best friend in New Orleans. The magic of that day is ingrained in every cell of my being forever, she said. Happy first anniversary, my love. You're the coolest, she had added. And this is her husband's name is Malcolm McRae. And in the video clip, she plays with her delicate veil and shows off her wedding gown, a custom Dior confection that she said was beautifully embroidered with our love story on it. So
she's the closest to like an Audrey Hepburn type glamour,
very much so.
Where she can do the modeling stuff like that. But she is.
She's also cool.
She's cool. She was here in the studio. She was awesome.
Yeah.
You see her interviewed, and she is. While she looks like she would be aloof, she's not.
No, absolutely. She's very smart and very cool. Yeah. She also shared an Instagram story of her crossing her arms with her husband as they took bites out of these. They had these cakes that looked like anatomically correct human hearts. Like they were, you know, those cakes that it looks like somebody's cutting into and you think it's a real thing. It looks like a real human heart.
Cake.
She and Cara Delevingne and photographer Sebastian Fina were among the guests that were featured and in the images that she shared. So, yeah, she got married.
Preston, I finally saw Dune 2 over the weekend, and I knew that she was in it. I didn't realize, and I don't want to give anything away, but she's not in it for very long. There's not a lot of Anya Taylor-Joy.
She says 3 words.
Okay.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Crap, I don't even remember seeing her.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Get her done.
Right.
Get her done.
But I guess if and when they make Dune 3... she'll be in that.
And they're making it. Yeah, they're going to make it.
Yeah.
In fact, the word came officially yesterday.
Yes.
Okay. We
Really?
already knew it was going to happen, but apparently the official word came down
Dune,
yesterday.
the cable guy.
Yeah, that's the one.
Right.
Yeah.
Get her done.
Well, I did not know this, but apparently it's been a difficult 2 years for Anna Paquin. She's been dealing with undisclosed health issues that have left her with mobility issues.
That's why she's had that cane in a few pictures.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So she, for the first time, she's been in public, and she walked the red carpet with her husband, Stephen Moyer, at the Crosby Street Hotel in New York City for their latest film, A Bit of Light, and she had a cane. She said it hasn't been easy of needing a cane to walk and experiencing some difficulties with her speech, but I don't know exactly what's causing that.
So is it MS or
we don't know?
Yeah. So I mean, it could be a couple of different things, and obviously that's her. She doesn't have to tell anybody what she's dealing with. But she looks otherwise. She looks great.
Despite the issues, Paquin says she's been beyond fortunate to get to do what she loves. She said, "My first love was independent filmmaking." She won an Oscar at age 11 for her role in the piano.
The piano,
and that's how I entered the film industry. She said, "I was working with people who were all about telling stories and telling them with integrity and truth." While she is on the road to recovery, she says that she's grateful to have support of her husband, Moyer, who directed her in the indie drama, which is based on a stage play. A Bit of Light stars her as an alcoholic mother who loses custody of her children and has to pick up the pieces of her broken life while reconciling with her past. But I'm curious as to
what's going on.
Yeah, why
she's
she
good
has a
and
cane.
almost famous too, as one of the groupies.
Yep. Michael J. Fox may have announced his retirement from acting, but he shared that he's still open to returning to the screen for the right opportunity. He recently told Entertainment Tonight that after he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease at the age of 29 in 1991, his goals in life pivoted from his career to his family, and he didn't publicly disclose that diagnosis until 1998. But he said, "My biggest goal, I think, was to raise a family. We have 4 amazing kids, and that's been the big thing." Of course, referencing his children, whom he shares with his wife, Tracy Pollan. And he said, then the other is with the Michael J. Fox Foundation. So he revealed in 2020 that he was retiring from doing on-screen work after having been open about his struggles with his memory and remembering his lines of dialogue. However, he told E.T. that he isn't completely against taking on another acting role.
But it would have to be the right role, right?
He said if something came up that I could put my realities into it, my challenges, if I could figure it out. He added that doing his 2023...
How much do you know about botany?
It was an exclusive with E.T.
Exactly.
Fox added that doing his
Good to see you, bro.
2023 Apple TV Plus documentary still just happened and ended up being a big thrill. He said, so if someone offers me a part and I do it and I have a good time, great then.
will always be right here in your penis.
Oh my God. Would you guys be open to another chapter to the Back to the Future universe? Or
Not really.
No. I didn't like the last one.
The third?
Yeah, I never got into it.
I did like it. I thought it caught me the right way. I know a lot of people are very resolute about not liking it. What they could do is, I think if you're going to do it, you clean the slate and bring in a whole new group and a whole new sort of timeline, or the discovery of the DeLorean or something, and you could possibly do that. But these, I say it and then only to be disproven, but there's such an iconic cast, it'd be tough.
So continuing it with a different cast or rebooting it?
Rebooting it.
Okay. All right. That could be interesting.
Yeah.
So he has previously shared that he became selective when choosing projects later in his career due to his health battles. He said, when I did the spinoff from The Good Wife, which is The Good Fight, I couldn't remember the lines. And I just had this blank. He also noted the same problem on Kiefer Sutherland's show, Designated Survivor. He said it was his legal stuff. I just couldn't get it. But what was really refreshing is I didn't panic. I didn't freak out. And I just went, well, that's that. Moving on. A key element of this process is memorizing lines, and I can't do it. And Steve, this is interesting because last year he told Empire Magazine he felt a scene in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was also a sign for him to retire. He said there was a scene where Leonardo DiCaprio's character can't remember his lines anymore. He goes back into his dressing room. He's screaming at himself in the mirror, freaking insane. And he said, I had this moment where I was looking in the mirror and thought, well, I can't remember it anymore. So he related to that scene, and it kind of was like, yeah, maybe I should hang it up.
So you know what I didn't know? And the more I've been watching these, deep dives into movie making and so on and so forth, and these podcasts, there's a thing they call the earworm, which is basically you'll stick the piece in the actor's ear. It is a dialogue assist.
Okay.
And it's not even, it's sometimes actors just demand it, as opposed to having a cue card, the camera, the angle that's not facing there. And it's very discreet.
Right.
But basically, someone is reciting their lines to them, which they then repeat.
We need one of those.
Yeah, I know.
Anytime we do a 15-second commercial.
Oh, my God.
We need those because we can't remember squat. Mark Summers, our buddy, is shedding some new light on his experience filming the docuseries Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. He claims that he was blindsided producers who said did a bait and switch on him.
I can see that because he's not in it a lot.
At all.
Yeah.
He said they ambushed me. He said they never told me what this documentary was really about, and so they showed me a video of something that I couldn't believe was on Nickelodeon, and I said, well, let's stop right here. What are we doing? And he expressed that he walked out after being told the documentary would detail accusations made against producer Dan Schneider and former Nickelodeon dialogue coach Brian Peck's alleged sexual assault of Drake Bell. He said, I left, and I got a phone call about 6 weeks ago saying, you're totally out of the show. And I went, great. And then they called me back about 4 weeks ago and said, well, you're in it. But you're only in the first part of it because you talked about the positive stuff of Nickelodeon. And he claims he wasn't made aware that the clip of him being shown in a video on his phone and later responding, did that air on Nickelodeon, would be included. He claimed that he never met Dan Schneider, being the Double Dare originally ran from 1986 to 1993. He said, those people came in after. They took over our studios. I never met the man. I have no idea about any of those things. He said, I mean, I know Kenan Thompson from Kenan and Kel, but because we've done stuff together. But as far as anything that happened on that show with any of those people, I never met any of them. I don't know anybody, but it made it seem like I knew these people in the documentary.
It's true, and that's just that one segment that he appears in.
Fifth episode of the docuseries will premiere on Sunday, by the way, and the new installment will dive deeper into the toxic and dangerous culture of some of the most iconic children's television programs, according to the description.
I thought it had wrapped up. I didn't realize that.
I'm sorry to do this to you, Preston, but I've never seen a response like this on the text board before, and I just wanted to address it before we got away from it.
Okay.
Max Gale, we said was on Barnaby Jones, but Max Gale was on Barney Miller.
Barney Miller.
Yes.
I said the wrong damn name.
Listen, Barnaby, Barney, whatever. And so Max Gale was Wojo on Barney Miller. Max Bear was on Beverly Hillbillies. Yes.
Right.
But
I didn't say Max Bear.
I know. But people.
But he was with Buddy Epson on the Beverly Hillbillies, who was in Barnaby Jones.
And
I didn't even catch it.
We must have gotten 30 texts about this thing. So I just wanted to address it, and we were wrong, and now we can move on.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, that was my fault.
I didn't even catch it, so.
Barney Miller.
There we go.
Well, I'm glad you did that, Nick, because I wanted to play this theme song.
There we go.
And we didn't get to.
We didn't. No.
Maybe it was because I said Barnaby Jones earlier.
Yeah.
Do you have the Barnaby Jones? Do you remember that whole conceit?
No.
Is that he was a very old detective. There was Cannon, who was very obese. Barnaby Jones was very old. So they had them side by side.
No, I don't
Yeah, yeah.
remember. I just remember Buddy Ebsen was the lead character in
Yeah,
it. So.
Barnaby Jones.
All right, moving on. Angelina Jolie alleges via lawyers in a new court filing that Brad Pitt was abusive toward her prior to the plane incident in 2016 that led to her filing for divorce.
This is becoming one of those legendary,
getting worse.
acrimonious splits.
As part of the former couple's ongoing legal battle over their French winery Chateau Maraval on April 4th, the actress legal team filed a motion seeking to release communications they said would prove that Brad would not let Angelina sell her share of the winery to him unless she agreed to a, quote, more onerous and expansive non-disclosure agreement. Within the new filing, Jolie's lawyers make the claim. While Pitt's history of physical abuse of Jolie started well before the family's September 16 plane trip, this flight, marked the first time that he turned his physical abuse on the children as well, and then she immediately left him. According to Jolie's side, and this gets a little wordy, the winery lawsuit would not have happened if Brad had purchased Jolie's share when she made the offer. However, Jolie's lawyers claim that Pitt refused the deal unless it came with the NDA and suggested the actor feared that sealed documents included in their separate years-long custody battle would be made public without the NDA. And essentially, if this drags on, he doesn't want to bring up stuff that happened even further back that she may use as legal leverage.
At this point, I'm going to have to guess that it's going to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, right?
Yeah.
That's what this legal wrangling is about. Man,
That's exactly it.
yeah,
Steve. Yeah.
that is wild.
So there may be more stuff that we
Could
hear.
they settle this with one pickleball match? Do you think so?
I mean, technically,
Yeah.
yes.
What about a dance-off?
They would have to
dance
agree.
off. Yeah.
So
I don't know, man.
A source says that Angelina Jolie does not want to be raising any of these facts, and she is doing it only because Pitt's lawsuit against her is forcing her to defend herself.
At this point, just let it go.
Wow,
Let it go.
Yeah, I don't think
I am
so.
one with the wind and sky.
Absolutely.
We need to learn from Frozen. Wind and Sky.
Yeah, close.
That's what I said.
I thought you said snow.
No, you said Barnaby Jones.
No, I did not. I said Buddy Epstein. I said one with the wind and sky.
Barnaby Jones.
Wait, what is it though?
What?
One with what?
The wind and sky.
Yeah, I never knew that.
I thought you said snow. But then again, I thought Barney Miller was Barnaby Jones. So what do I know?
It's Friday.
Yes, it is.
No sad bro. No sad bro. All right. Drew Barrymore has been pestering Adam Sandler about the status of a Happy Gilmore sequel. And in a preview clip from today's episode of the Drew Barrymore Show, she reveals that she recently contacted her 51st Dates co-star regarding rumors that Adam has a screenplay written for Happy Gilmore 2. She said in this video, I want it, I need it, and I stayed up last night with my daughter watching Billy Madison. I sent Sandler a video of that, and then he sent me another video back, and I'm waiting to see if he's confirming about the Happy Gilmore 2 script. And later, she pulls out her phone and notices something which may or may not be a message from Sandler that seemingly confirms that Happy Gilmore 2 is in the works. And she said, this just in, I have breaking news. I'll just say this from my source that it is in process.
Interesting. Have you seen it appears to be a trailer or a teaser trailer for a new movie with Sandler where he's wearing this huge prosthetic nose.
No.
And he learns the power of having a wedding ring on. And how he's able to score, I guess, more efficiently because of the perception.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was a trailer, but I couldn't quite find exactly what it was.
I've not seen that yet. By the way, Drew was inspired to ask about the project after Christopher McDonald, who played Shooter McGavin, said that Adam had apparently showed him a script for the sequel.
I'd love to get that guy on the show.
Yeah.
He'd be so good.
He's been in a bunch of good stuff. Jeff Bezos.
Who?
Jeffrey Bezos.
Jeffrey Bezos.
Purchased a home for approximately $90 million in Indian Creek Village, Florida, colloquially known as Billionaire Bunker.
Yeah, billionaire bunker.
It would be the third mansion that he has purchased on the man-made barrier island in Biscayne Bay off the Miami coast. So he has 3 now.
Is this the one where like Tiger Woods has a place and I think Shaq
Don't know.
has a place?
Probably.
I mean, like ridiculously wealthy and also very famous people have homes there.
Well, Jeffrey will live in the newly purchased home, which last sold in 1998 for $2.5 million. He bought it for $90 million. I'd say that's a tick up.
Yeah.
While the other 2 homes he purchased are being torn down. Earlier this year, he completed the sale of 50 million shares of Amazon that returned about $8.5 billion to him. Purchased 2 homes on the Indian Creek Village in 2023.
When you have those kind of estates, those kind of mega mansions, and you're flitting between them often, do you ever really feel at home, or does it feel like you're just going to hotels?
Yeah,
I
don't
personally
know.
don't. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, when I'm,
You're multiple,
I,
Well,
it's-
which estate do you feel the most home?
Oh, the
Wildwood?
the Wildwood Estate is
Yeah.
is relaxing, and of course, you know, it's there for
Yeah.
that, and so therefore we love it in that regard.
You know, Steve, I see like these like the Kardashians homes and stuff like that, and it's just so.
It doesn't feel like to me. It doesn't look like a home.
It's just it. I'm like, do they put their feet up on the couch?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Do they
but-
spit chewing tobacco into potted plants?
Yeah. Do they have a little piss bottle in
Yeah.
their couch?
Right.
He had purchased the second home in Indian Creek in November for $79 million. The 23,000 square foot mansion at 12 Indian Creek Island Road, situated on 80,000 square feet of land, features a wood panel library, movie theater, wine cellar, wet bar, and cabana house.
Well,
as
that
well.
all seems good, but he's got to mow that.
He has to mow.
Yeah.
That's one thing we need to consider.
Stop and consider.
Yeah, that's a
I
lot.
wonder if he's got a 0 turn.
Yeah.
Probably.
You would have to
He
for
probably,
that. There's a lot of, I'm sure, tight corners that he needs to get into.
Well, especially after the divorce.
All right, so let's see. We got time for one more thing.
Steve, that nose thing with Adam Sandler, that's from Just Go With It, which came out 10 years ago.
All right,
I don't know
okay.
why it's-
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why it's surfacing now, but
All right.
it's an old clip.
I was
the
wondering.
nose is massive.
Yeah.
Think of Roxanne, only wider and not straight out. Interesting.
Okay.
Last thing. Tonya and Cruella director Greg Gillespie is in talks to direct Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow for DC Studios. The upcoming film will feature House of the Dragon breakout Millie Alcock and in the title role. The new take on the superhero, teased by DC Studios head James Gunn, as a much more hardcore, and will explore a different side of Supergirl as she embarks on a galactic adventure with Crypto, the Superdog. The Superdog. And I forgot about Crypto.
Crypto.
How old is Supergirl? I think it's kind of funny that you have Superman and then
She's a teenager, right?
she's a teenager.
Yeah.
All right.
The girl that was portrayed in The Flash,
Sasha Calle.
she was awesome
I
as
dug her.
Supergirl.
You know why? What made her very good too is in the fights. She had that look on her face.
She was mad.
Like, I
she
love
was.
that.
She had attitude. It was
Yeah.
really cool. The Supergirl movie is set to start filming after Gunn's own Superman wraps production. By the way.
Super.
All right. There's movies opening. This
There
weekend.
are.
Yeah. Monkey Man is opening this weekend, and it's a action mystery film. It stars Dev Patel, Sharlto Copley, and Pito Bosch. Kid is an anonymous young man who ekes out a meager living in an underground fight club where night after night, wearing a gorilla mask, he is beaten bloody by more popular fighters for cash. After years of suppressed rage, Kid discovers a way to infiltrate the enclave of the city's sinister elite. As his childhood trauma boils over, his mysteriously scarred hands unleash an explosive campaign of retribution to settle the score with the men who took everything from him. Hour and 53 minutes long. It's rated R. It's a wide theater release, and Rotten Tomatoes gives it an 87%.
So
kidding.
Dev Patel directed it, and Jordan Peele produced it.
He looks like a badass in this movie. Dev
Yeah.
Patel, like he's fighting and punching and using guns and whatnot.
Okay. And then one more movie, The First Omen, opens, and it is a horror mystery. Neil Tiger Free, Taufik Barom, and Sonia Braga star. When a young American woman is sent to Rome to begin a life of service to the church, she encounters a darkness that causes her to question her own faith and uncovers a terrifying conspiracy that hopes to bring about the birth of evil incarnate. 2 hours long, rated R, wide theater release, Rotten Tomatoes score, and 83%.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Is it the young lady who's in Servant who's in that? I saw a teaser for her. Yeah.
Which one is it, Preston?
Nell Tiger Free is her name.
Okay.
Now being tie-tie.
The main girl in
In Servant.
the young girl. I forgot.
Right.
I haven't watched it in a little while, but
Leanne Grayson? Oh, no.
Leanne, yes.
Okay.
yeah, she plays. She's the main character.
She's
in
Nell
this
B.
movie.
Tai-Tai.
Yeah, so 83%, which is cool. All right, we're ready for clips now. The tagline for Judy Justice is new cases, new team, our same favorite judge. And here Judge Judy Scheinlin recalls her one and only regret after 25 years of television success.
I think Reese is a fabulous woman. My one regret, when she was doing Legally Blonde, they reached out and said, we'd like you to be the judge. It's the biggest mistake I ever made in my career, was not playing that part in that movie.
I don't give a
I can't believe she's still doing it. Just Judy Justice.
Yeah.
Spring finale airs today on Freevee.
And she's very diminutive, and she has her hair slicked back and then coming. She looks literally like a rat sitting behind.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a flattering look.
Next clip. Sugar is a genre-bending contemporary take on the private detective story. And in this clip, Colin Farrell talks about Los Angeles being more than a backdrop. It's a prominent character.
It's such a kaleidoscopic experience of a place. You know, there's so much wealth, there's so much poverty, there's so much homelessness, there's so much decadence, there's so much music, there's so much food, there's so much surfing, there's so much prayer. It's so busy. I thought that it was a really beautiful look at this town, a town that I will not claim to fully understand at all. Ever.
What the hell are you talking about?
He sounds kind of like a young Bono there, doesn't he? A little bit. I know
It's got so much surfing and so much dancing and so much singing.
similar. I know the accent is the same, obviously, but the tone sounds like
I love L.A.
Sugar.
I love it.
Premieres today on Apple TV Plus, and there you go. That's the entertainment.
Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
That was the Kardashians version of that, of course, which you can't find anymore. All right, we're going to take a break, come back in a second. No Sabro Friday, and look at that blue sky and sunshine. It feels so good. We'll get a little bit of sun today. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
That's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
What say we clean out the junk drawer?
It's the junk drawer. Preston's cleaning out his junk drawer. Getting things out of his junk drawer. Finding stuff here in the junk drawer.
Kyle Mack with the theme song for the junk drawer. We haven't done the junk drawer this early in a while, so I'm excited. Let me go in this drawer.
It's a drawer.
By the way, a friend of mine not long ago thought I actually reached into a drawer.
Give it a mind.
He did.
Yeah.
Or no, he thought that I played the sound effect. That's what it was.
okay.
I'm like, no, that's a Casey thing. So we all have our own little jobs.
There's a bullet in there.
One of those is Casey's.
The mousetrap hit the bullet.
Powerball.
Yeah.
Yep. It's continuing. 1.23 billion, the eighth largest in U.S. lottery history. So it's one of the bigger ones, but it's not like the biggest one. I saw an interesting thing that they feel that there have been enough of these really, really big ones,
right?
That it has not stimulated the kind of activity as they have in the past. I mean, they're still selling like crazy.
People have become more blasé about it.
But there's not as much of a fervor as there has been in the past.
Well,
about it.
I have zero I've
been buying them.
In general, I've had zero interest in the lottery since it began. You know, it's just not something I get excited about. You guys do though.
Oh yeah. And also, Press, it's interesting that you have the story because I noticed with the last drawing on Wednesday that there's no office pool. Usually, you know, like Connor in sales or somebody will do. I'm like, there's not even that going on. And we're talking $1 billion.
I almost, when you and I bought tickets on the same day the other day, I almost decided to do the halvesies agreement with you.
Yeah. You don't have to do that. You're getting a lot of money if I win.
I know, and that's what I thought about too.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
And you would get money as well. Yeah. If I would win.
I mean, we talk about this like every single time, but I do take joy though after buying that ticket, just spending a little bit of time
thinking about what
fantasizing about what I would do because I would help so many people.
That's wonderful. Would you buy anything for yourself?
Of course I would. I would get myself a swim spot.
So bad. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Finally, I would put a swim spot inside a swim spot.
If I win, I'm going to help someone. You want a swim spot?
But I was I had lunch at Jaime's the other day, and I was going to pay for the bill, and I said, "Hey, I can either tip you or I could give you." Potentially $1 billion. And then it was a funny joke, Kath. We were all just laughing so hard.
Yeah. And then you took it back to the Ramada and made sweet love.
No, but I did say, you know what? I said, if I win, I said, I'm coming back. I'm going to take care of you. And she's like, you're going to break me off a piece? I said, yes, I am, girl.
Well,
girlfriend.
Yeah. All right. Well, the last time somebody won was New Year's Day. Player Michigan won $842 million.
It is funny how that you can have this many of these potential situations that people are starting to go,
Yeah, well, when you said Michigan,
I know.
It really, because you're
going to Michigan.
I'm going to Michigan. I'm buying a ticket. I'm buying a ticket from Mrs. Cho today, and then at some point I'm going to I'm going to Michigan, and I'm buying one.
That could have been you a few lotteries back.
A few lotteries back.
Yeah.
You'll up your chances by buying in 2 states. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so you're going to buy a ticket in Michigan as well? Okay.
No, don't be a dick. What if he wins today?
No, I know. I'm not being a dick.
Oh, all right, okay. I was just...
and I always say this, you know, God bless. I know my luck is so bad with stuff. I don't even entertain the notion.
Well, what I think you're buying for $2 is the ability to have this conversation.
A daydream?
Yeah, a daydream. Casey gets to fantasize about tipping that lady and then, doing it in Michigan or whatever. Like that's the fun part of it. And you buy it for about 35 seconds and then you realize the reality, but you're not buying reality. You're buying a bit of a dream.
How much money do you spend when you go buy lottery tickets?
Was talking about this last night. Like max $6. I will do one quick pick, and then I'll do like 2 sets of family birthday.
I'll do like $20 worth. So I put in a little. Yeah. I put in a little investment.
Yeah.
So I
what's that money going to?
Bizarrely, I think that it's going to give me a better chance at winning.
It's not.
I think it's for profit. This isn't like benefits older Pennsylvanians type of thing.
Right. It used to be one of those deals with the other one. But where does the money for this collected? Where does it go to?
Not sure.
Yeah, we talked about that before too. You know what? Look it up.
Yeah,
figure it out.
Yep.
Preston, I did the thing earlier in the week when nobody won it. I took the unused lottery tickets or tickets that I already bought, took them all down to Joe's. You ended up getting some money from.
Yeah, I won like $26.
There you go.
I was shocked.
Yeah,
that's the most amount I think I've ever won.
Pretty good.
I did the same thing.
Of course, I bought tickets right away with it.
By the way, I've determined I don't want to look it up.
Okay.
I parlayed it.
Yes.
And so we'll see.
And so you parlayed it into non-winning tickets earlier.
Well, I haven't checked them out yet.
Gotcha,
I mean, I haven't won the big money, but I may have won a little bit more, so I don't know.
For larger lotteries like Mega Millions or Powerball, half of the ticket revenue goes towards the lottery's prize pool. The remaining half goes towards costs, including lottery administration, retailer commissions, in addition to other beneficiaries, and that's what
the government gets.
I wonder what the actual mechanism of executing the lottery, what that costs.
Okay, so there's a breakdown.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Steve, each U.S. state lottery and beneficiaries. So when you buy a Powerball, like Arizona's, theirs goes towards the Heritage Fund and mass transit and blah blah blah, and then I didn't get the Pennsylvania just yet. So each state gets something different,
which is interesting because I didn't realize that it worked that way, and I had bought lottery tickets in New Jersey. This is like last year, And then I went to go scan them here to see if they were winners, and I took them to there was a grocery store or something like that. I'm like, can you check these? And they said, no, we can't. You got to do it in New Jersey.
Yep.
I was like, I didn't even realize that.
I didn't know that was the case.
So it is.
How about that?
State sensitive.
Good thing you didn't show that to Mrs. Chose.
Right. By the way, Pennsylvania, the only program, it says programs for older Pennsylvanians. And Press, I ran into the same situation when I was driving across country. I was buying Powerballs and Mega Millions all along the way. And I ended up winning like $20-some from Oklahoma. And I couldn't. I'm like, all right, so let me go fly to Oklahoma for a couple $100 to get this $20 winner.
By the way, the odds are 1 in 292.2 million. And if you need some perspective, imagine you and 292 million other people together in one location.
Yeah.
Only one name is drawn, and that person that's your shot at winning.
But it does happen.
It does.
So there you go. Someone
there
will...
used to be an ad campaign, and I was a sucker for it. And it was a little jingle, and it was somebody's gonna lotto, might as well be you. And I'm like, that's perfect.
Yeah,
because someone is eventually going to win.
Yeah.
It might be you. Why not? That's the pitch. The odds actually used to be significantly better at 1 in 175 million, but they were made tougher in 2015 to create the humongous jackpots with all the rollovers.
Yeah. So the purpose was obviously to create this sort of big furor over it, but now you're saying this whole article suggests it's diminished.
Yep.
They're not getting the return that they wanted.
By the way, the odds of winning the jackpot are a little worse than flipping a coin and getting heads 28 straight times. So if you were to flip the coin, and that doesn't sound like that much,
right? It does not sound like that much. But I'm going to play it.
The likelihood is very.
Now that I know all I have to do is get heads 28 times.
Very slim. So, but it's going to be maybe up to. They're saying 1.23 billion. It might be a little bit more than that. So I'll go pick up a lottery ticket this morning. What the hell? Why not? Yeah. All right, let's go back in. Jump guard. All right. I found it. So. Vaping might not be as safe as we once thought, especially when it comes to the health of our heart. As of 2021, 4.5% of U.S. adults used e-cigarettes. Vaping is particularly prevalent among young people, with roughly 1 in 7 high school students using e-cigarettes.
Remember the whole thing about popcorn lung?
Yeah.
From vaping.
I mean, that's what they're pretty much teaching in the schools now.
Teaching them how to vape?
No, about vape. They're warning them about that. I mean, they do discuss cigarettes as well, but they focus more on the vape.
While vaping may be a safer alternative to smoking tobacco, previously studies have associated e-cigarette use with an increased risk of lung disease, asthma, damaged blood vessels, and heart disease, particularly among those with pre-existing health conditions. And now a large study led by MedStar Health in Baltimore has shown that e-cigarette users may be 19% more likely to develop heart failure compared to those who have never vaped. In their study, they analyzed data from surveys and electronic health records to investigate the association between e-cigarettes use and heart failure, and they looked at over 175,000 participants in total with an average age of 52 years old, 3,200 of whom developed heart failure within the average 45-month follow-up period.
Wow.
Those who used e-cigarettes were found to be 19% more likely to develop heart failure than those who had never vaped.
Casey, you vaped for a while.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it?
Yes and no. It's weird. The throat hit is different than a cigarette, and so it's. But I did like the big clouds. What I mean? I did enjoy that. You look like a freaking dragon.
But watching some guy here on the video do these incredible
smoke rings.
Yeah. But I don't see people doing those like that much anymore.
Nope.
Like
No,
what
neither.
are those things called? Mods, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But I remember seeing, you'd see a car in front of you, a big plume coming out of it.
You'd wonder what the hell it was.
I don't see that happening as much anymore either case. But vaping is interesting, and it some of the resins that you use, and I can only attest to marijuana, actually, are harsher than others, and some are really smooth, and you just got to kind of play around until you find the one that works for you. But they're saying for heart, particularly heart failure, heart issues, that it can bring it up a notch.
Didn't realize that.
It's one of those things that I'm like, You do what you can as far as your own health goes. I mean, like there are so many things that they say are dangerous and like, you know, we're all taking a risk just by stepping out the door.
I mean,
every
there's
day.
such a bad rap, against heroin, and yet for many people,
Listen, I had a friend who passed away from stomach cancer. He got a stomach cancer that like usually 80-year-old men get. He was in his 20s. He never smoked. He never drank. He was healthy. You know, so I'm not saying go out but like you're right. Like there are so many things that can take you out.
Yeah, but if there's something you know is going to affect you in a bad way, why do it?
And then you get the 105-year-old person that's, what's the secret to life? Well, I drank every day.
Beer and cigarettes.
Yeah.
lots of dirty whores.
You know, so it's weird. All right, so anyhow, vaping, heads up, warning. All right, let's move on. Oh, look what I found. The city of Kyle, Texas, near Austin, is attempting to break a Guinness World Record by getting as many people named Kyle as possible.
Hey, we have one.
To attend this year's Gathering of the Kyles.
Let's send them.
We should.
We should send them.
When is it?
It is May 18th. So we got time.
Yeah.
The current record was set back in July of 2017 when 2,325 Ivans gathered in Capriz, Bosnia and Herzegovina. The event is set to take place on May 18th as part of the annual Kyle Fair at Lake Kyle Park. Okay. Entry is free, but those who are named Kyle must show proof of ID.
All right, just to verify.
I kicked around the idea of having a Preston Fest.
Yeah.
But there's only going to be like 5 of us, that show up. At least if I have had a handful contact me that live in our area. Just to say, my name's Preston as well, because there are just not that many of us. But a Preston Fest might be kind of fun.
I know someone who named their child Preston. Not after you, but because
they heard my name.
Heard your name on the show. They always liked the name, and so they named their child that.
Yes, there's a few out there. But the Kyle thing is kind of interesting because it's not, Kyle isn't an unusual name.
No. But
it's kind of like, I would say it's like kind of a common name.
Yeah, fairly
common. Yeah.
Kyle, would you go to the Kyle Fest? Is he in there even?
Yeah, he's right there.
Okay. Would you do it? He doesn't look all that.
He said,
yes.
The second you said it, I looked over and he's like,
I don't know.
Well, then
I don't
I'll go.
associate
Pretend
with
my
those
name's
people.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Take his ID. Yeah, come around here. I'm curious.
hell's wrong
Don't be bashful.
Yeah, what's wrong, man?
Oh, you're adorable.
Oh. By the way, his band is playing this weekend at Keenan's Irish Pub, FM band. Would you do it?
I would absolutely love to if my brother wasn't getting married that day.
Oh, that was
yeah.
the face. All right, fine.
Gotcha.
Yes, I don't know how to break it to him. If I were
where's
to
he
go
getting married?
North Jersey.
That's not
Like
even
the
close to-
Morristown area.
Yeah, this is in Texas.
Yeah.
So
They're having a Douglas Fest there that day.
when you meet other Kyles, is it interesting or is it not that big a deal?
It's so common now. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
I think, Press, for you and I, it's different. I haven't run into that many Caseys in my life. I'm sure that you haven't run into a bunch of Prestons.
Hardly any Prestons. There was only one time in my life where I was in the room with 2 other Prestons.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, and we were kind of
odd.
we were all kind of freaked out about it. Yeah.
Any other Prestons in your high school graduating class?
Oh, no.
There was only one other Casey in my graduating class. Seamus had his ring mass ceremony last night, and they went through the entire, and he's the only Seamus in this whole class. And
really?
I like,
Believe it or not, in school, Steve is a very common name.
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty common name.
Yes.
I was like I think I was the only Steve in my high school graduating class.
In your
of
class?
like 1,100 kids.
That's crazy.
I think I was. Yeah.
Because Press, I know that your best friend's name is Steve.
I knew several Steves in my class.
One of my
high
best
school.
friends growing up, and still my friend today, Steve. I had
Steve Kyle?
No, but Nick, do you have any other than Steve Morrison? Any?
Oh, yeah, a lot of Steves.
A lot of Steve friends.
Yep. But I was the only Nick in my high school.
In your
Yeah.
what?
But then now I know several Nicks. In fact, there were like 3 Nick M's that worked here, which is crazy.
Nicholas, is that your full name?
Yes.
And what are other versions of that? Nikolai?
What do you mean?
Like Nick is short for?
Well, Cole is related to that. Nicole. I'm not quite sure.
Just Nicholas and Nikolai, maybe?
Yeah, I mean,
Barnaby Jones?
there's different spellings of Nicholas. Is N-I-C-K, N-I-C-H, N-I-C-O.
Right.
So there's different ways to spell it. But did you know that Ivan is the Russian word for John?
No.
Yeah. Does affect.
Oh, here we go again with these name facts.
All right. Anyhow, if your name is Kyle, this is happening on May 18th, and it will be at the Lake Kyle Park, and that is in Kyle, Texas, near Austin. So, all right. Let's see what else. Speaking of names, everyone in Japan could one day have the same surname unless its restrictive marriage laws change, according to a new study.
Everyone could have the same surname.
Everyone. But the country's dwindling marriage rate could buck that trend, and a rapidly declining population might render it moot entirely. Unlike most of the world's major economies that have done away with the tradition, Japan is still legally requiring married couples to share the same surname. Normally, wives take their husband's name, and same-sex marriages still aren't legal in Japan. A movement to change the rules around surnames has been brewing, led by women's rights advocates, and those trying to preserve the diversity of the Japanese surnames in a nation where a handful of names are becoming increasingly common. So if the rules carry on, all Japanese people would have the surname Sato.
Wow.
By the year 2531, according to
pretty wild.
Hiroshi Yoshida, an economist. Sato is currently the most common, followed by Suzuki. Takahashi comes in third at about 1.8 million people out of Japan's 125 million population have the surname Sato, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, that is, of course, a dream destination for me to visit one day. And I knew they had dwindling marriage rates, and I didn't realize this would be an aspect of that.
Yeah. So Sato may one day be every single Japanese person's last name.
So if you're out of it, hey, Sato.
Yeah. Everybody's going to turn around.
That's weird.
All right, go back in. All right, I personally found this very interesting. The final two AV-8B Harrier 2 pilots have finished training on Friday, receiving the last 7509 military occupational specialty designation reserved to qualified pilots for the aircraft. Essentially, these are the last two people who will ever fly a Harrier aircraft.
When the Harrier jet debuted, it was the coolest thing you'd ever seen.
Totally.
Did you guys
couldn't believe it.
Did you know about it before True Lies? I don't think I did.
I did.
Oh, yeah.
I was building Aurora models of them.
Captain Joshua Corbett and Captain Sven Jorgensen completed the training, and the Corbett said in a statement, the significance of the last replacement pilot training flight in the Harrier community is that it is the beginning of the end for us as a community. The Harrier, more than many aircraft than I have come across, he said, elicits an emotional response. All good things have to come to an end, and it's our turn soon, but not yet. I remember in St. Louis for the 4th of July ceremonies they had down by the Arch, they had an air show, and the big star was the Harrier because nobody had ever seen it live before. And it was wild to watch this jet dance in one spot, moving left, right, spinning around, and doing all these things you've never seen a jet do before.
There's something else that I've been meaning to bring up. Have you seen the way they are now landing the fighter jets on aircraft carriers?
Is it different?
Yes, Nick. And I don't know if this is a common practice, but they will come in and they will basically go almost perpendicular to. So I'm using
with
hand
the nose
gestures. Right. So they come up to the edge of the ship where they would normally come in and land, touch down the wheels, the hook would catch. They fly in like this, basically, vertically, and then tip over onto the deck.
So in Space Cowboys, the way they land at the end with the space shuttle?
Right.
Okay.
Like that.
So they almost stall.
Yeah.
And sat down. That's legit?
That's legit.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of footage from various sources.
That looks very dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks unpractical. I wonder if that is a
emergency?
Yeah, some kind of a maneuver that they practice.
Like a stunt almost. For safety purposes, like learning how to do this stunt so that if they have to land this way, they do.
Yeah, I'm
Although
curious.
some of these videos, Steve, that I'm looking on YouTube, to me anyway, to the naked eye, they don't look legit.
Oh, it's possible.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, no, that's the first I've seen of that. Both pilots will report to Marine Attack Squadron 223, also known as the Bulldogs. The Harrier Squadron will be the last of its kind in the Marine Corps.
Does this mean we might be able to get a Harrier jet at a good price?
Sure, afterwards. Yeah. The Marine. And by the way, isn't that the one that in that Pepsi?
Yes.
That old bit.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, and they made a Netflix documentary about it. Yeah, it's really compelling. And
Where's
it turned
my jet?
it turned into this giant thing.
Yeah.
It lasted 20 years or whatever.
The Marine Corps will transition away from the vertical short takeoff and landing tactical attack aircraft as it moves to the F-35 Lightning II by the end of the fiscal year 2030. So it first arrived at the Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point, North Carolina in 1983. Thought that was pretty interesting. So they're hanging it up, which is kind of sad, you know. All right, let me see what time we got here. We can get some more. Yeah. So Apple is exploring the development of personal home robots after ditching its electric vehicle project. Engineers at Apple have been looking into a robot that can follow users around their homes and a tabletop device that uses robotics to adjust a display screen. Yeah, before it kills you. Apple in February shut down its team working on electric cars called Special Projects Group. The car project was part of an internal effort to expand into a new product market. In recent years, the company has also invested heavily into products and services like its Apple Watch and Vision Pro virtual reality headset.
You must eliminate all biologics.
Apple's hardware engineering division and its artificial intelligence and machine learning group are overseeing the work on personal robotics. The home robot project is still in the early research and development phase. Other tech companies have also explored home robots.
Amazon actually had sort of put you on a wait list for a home robot that provides limited functions but can assist you in certain things.
Yeah, it's called the Astro Home Robot.
Right.
Came out in 2021. It's about $1,600. It's essentially a smart display on wheels that can answer Alexa commands. Almost 3 years from its debut, the device remains available in limited quantities on an invite-only basis. An executive overseeing the project departed Amazon last month. In November, the company launched a version of Astro for businesses akin to a roving security guard of some
I've
type.
signed up for a number of these things that never materialized. They had one, Amazon had, which was an actual indoor drone, a security drone that would take off every half hour or so, patrol the house.
What?
Yes. And Preston, it was the goddamn dumbest thing, but I put my name on the list because I think I ought to see what that's like.
Right.
And it never came out.
Okay. All right. So I don't know what this personal robot would do following
Honestly,
you
if it's
around
not,
the house.
yeah, if it's not cleaning up and vacuuming and stuff
The
like
stuff
that,
you'd wanted to do, the
like
menial
Rosie.
stuff. Yeah, like Rosie.
Well, we have a virtual, or we have a robot vacuum and mop.
Yeah, there you go.
And we call
Wait, a mop?
Yeah, we do.
Wait, okay, tell me. I don't know about the mop.
So Alice is what we call the vacuum.
Okay.
And then we call Rosie, we call the mop Rosie. That's great. And it goes around, Kathy, and it squirts this little liquid out. And it just back and forth.
So how do you stop it from going onto a surface that you wouldn't want wet? Like a rug or...
You can set the parameters.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Rochelle did it.
Rochelle did it.
Okay.
But ours, we don't have any area in our house. It might wander into carpet. So
Okay. And it's fine
all,
for the hardwood?
Yeah, it does great.
Let me ask you, with the if you ever had an accident, the pet have an accident on the floor and any of these things smeared around?
No.
Okay.
Have not had that happen yet. So, but yeah, the mop is pretty interesting.
That is interesting.
And it goes back and docks and will reload the liquid that it needs.
I mean, I love is it Roomba? Yeah.
Yes.
My
Yeah.
Roomba. It's great. And I set it up upstairs. I can, set it up downstairs, but I did not know about the mop situation.
How are your cats with the Roomba?
Oh, they're fine.
All right.
It doesn't even bother. They kind of just look at it. Like, it'll go right past them, and they just follow it. They don't care.
But one of my dogs freaks out on the when it docks, it makes this little chime, bling, and then she's like, "I'm gonna kill you!"
Is that Haley?
I'm like, dog, shut up, man.
There's some sad. Sometimes a dog will be sleeping, a larger dog, and I saw a video of the Roomba had swept up the back of the dog's tail, and the dog's walking around with the Roomba attached to its ass.
That's hilarious.
I love Steve. I still haven't seen it. What was that movie? Was it Strays?
Oh my God!
Where the dogs see the mailman. They're sitting talking. Just talking to each other. Blah blah blah. This and that. That son of a bitch. He's back again. I'm gonna kill that son of a bitch. Don't even come near here. That's totally it. That is totally it.
Yeah, Strays. It's really good.
All right. We got to close up the junk drawer. Let's shut it.
That was the junk drawer. Preston's closing up his junk drawer. There's nothing left here in the junk drawer. Until next time, that was the junk drawer.
As he said, until next time, that was the junk drawer. We're going to get to a few other fun little moments on the program this morning, including our Word of the Week prize. We will give that away. We're going to do the connoisseur at some point, but we'll take a break, come back, some bizarre file stories to share with you when we return. So stay there.
WMMR.
Thanks, Kath. Real quick, may I do a butt plug / shart out? They requested both. This is from Becca Ellis, and she says, hey, we're gearing up for an incredible event in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. It's the Tunnel to Towers 5K Run Walk, happening June 15th at Boyertown Community Park. The event is all about honoring and supporting our heroes through the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, which provides mortgage-free homes to families of fallen heroes.
Yeah.
Supporting injured first responders and aiding veterans as well.
Tunnel to Towers is a great organization.
Boyertown is where Colebrookdale Railroad is out that way.
Yeah.
She said, I'd love for you to give us a shout out on the show and help spread the awareness about this kick-ass event. So there you go. That is from Becca Ellis, the race director. And Nick, did I send that to you?
Did not.
Okay, I'm going to give you this information if you don't mind posting that on the community page, PrestonandSteve.com, which, of course, you can find all kinds of great activities that are going on, probably right down the street from you. And as we said many times, they're usually inexpensive and usually get food and sometimes cocktails, and you get to meet some people in your area and you're helping people out. And it's just it's a cool repository of events that can just be a social event that you're helping out with other people. And
if you're going to go do it, you can go help some people. And a lot of times you said the deals you get are really awesome.
Absolutely. All right, so it's Friday and we should do this.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Again, thank you to our Friday band Froggy for making that little jewel for us. Brought to you by Natural Lawn of America. Natural Lawn has been creating green lawns quickly, more naturally, and with fewer weeds since 1987. Get free seeding every year. Call 800-FREE-SEED now. Well, there was a local-ish story that we're going to lead the Bizarre File with. 2 Hershey Park guests were hospitalized last week after a raccoon went on the attack in the waiting line of a roller coaster at the Century-Old Amusement Park. The incident unfolded on Hershey's opening day, by the way, in the line for the Super Duper Looper. And a spokesperson, Quinn C. Briner, said video shows guests panicking in the line as the raccoon darts around at the waiting area before biting a young guest and running away. Briner said that 2 people were attacked and both were taken to a local hospital for observation out of an abundance of caution. They said this is the first incident that we can recall of what appeared to be a young, frightened raccoon attacking or acting in this manner at Hershey Park.
So raccoon a day, right?
Yeah, run away. So they are, they said the guest safety is and always will be the top priority at Hershey Park. The raccoon in question has not been back to the park since, Briner added, but the park has put plans in place to capture the animal if it does return. In addition, they maintain extensive fencing to help prevent this type of incident from occurring.
It is pretty wild.
Yeah. This is brilliant, and there is video of this, and you need to see it. A thief disguised as a trash bag, was caught on camera stealing a package from a home in Sacramento, California. So essentially, I'll try to describe this. They took a trash bag, they tied off the top, they cut a hole in the bottom, they pulled it over themselves.
Yeah.
And squatted down low, Kathy, and they're doing like a little, little frog walk or whatever you call that, and just inching up to the porch of the trash bag. And they put the trash bag over the package on the porch and get away with it. The door camera footage provided by Omar Gabriel Munoz shows the person underneath the garbage bag approaching the front door and stealing the parcel on March 29th. Munoz said that he got a notification that his package had been delivered and was confused not to find it when returning home. He thought maybe the wind had blown out the parcel, but after checking the door camera footage, he discovered it had been taken by a crafty porch pirate. Look at the video up here on the screen. This is just...
Wow. I mean, come on.
It is hilarious. And they haven't tracked him down yet, so far, so good on that. All right, on Easter, the manager of a Walgreens store suffered a Bible beating because she was being rude, according to a customer who is now facing a felony battery charge. Police say Peter Owens went to the pharmacy Sunday evening to purchase a pair of headphones. While at the Clearwater, Florida business, Owens got into a verbal altercation with an employee over the headphones. When Nicole Merck, the 36-year-old store manager, approached Owens and asked him to leave the Walgreens, Peter used the Bible in his hand and struck her in the face one time before he exited the store. This is on Easter, mind you.
Yes.
Cops located Owens and took him into custody. Owens reportedly admitted to striking Merck in the face one time with his Bible because she was being rude to him. Peter stated he did not mean to hit her. The criminal charge against Owens was enhanced to a felony count since he has a 2020 conviction in Michigan for assault and battery.
There you go. Mm-hmm. It's Easter. He should have been a little bit more. He shouldn't have been at the store.
Owens was released from the county jail last night after posting $5,000 bond. A judge has ordered him to have no contact with Merck, and he must stay away from the Walgreens outlet. The president of Botswana has threatened to send 20,000 elephants to Germany in a dispute over conservation. Earlier this year, Germany's environmental ministry suggested that there should be stricter limits on importing trophies from hunting animals. Now, Botswana's president, Mogwetsi Masisi, told German media that this would only impoverish people in his country. He said elephant numbers had exploded as a result of conservation efforts, and hunting helped keep them in check. He said Germans should live together with the animals in a way you are trying to tell us to. He said this is no joke. Botswana is home to about a third of the world's elephant population, over 130,000.
Wow, really?
More than it has space for. Herds were causing damage to property, eating crops, and trampling residents, he said. Botswana has previously given 8,000 elephants to neighboring Angola and has offered hundreds more to Mozambique as a means of bringing the population down.
Wouldn't you be disappointed if you went to Germany and did not see an elephant?
He said, we would like to offer such a gift to Germany. He said that he would not take no for an answer. Botswana's wildlife minister last month threatened to send 10,000 elephants to London's Hyde Park so British people could, quote, have a taste of living alongside them. In March, UK MPs voted to support a ban on importing hunting trophies, but the legislation is further scrutiny to pass before becoming law. They're saying, hey, man, we got more elephants than you think here.
Yeah, you would think it'd be the other way, but they're like, we've got too many.
I think trophy hunting is fairly reprehensible. However, there are arguments for it, and this is one of them. And like controlled hunting can actually help with the elephant population. It's a weird, messed up dichotomy.
Yeah. All right, in Houston, a mother says a warrant was issued for her arrest after not returning a library book.
Was her name Jerry Romano?
We know this story, reprobate.
Kaylee Morgan said, I thought, am I punked or something? This can't be true. Kaylee Morgan, a wife and stay-at-home mother of 5, rented a few books from the Navasota Public Library in Grimes County, Texas in March last year. They were for her homeschooled children. During that time, she was experiencing rough pregnancy, dealing with hyperemesis and placenta previa. And she didn't return the books by the due date. She said that her husband returned all but one book because it didn't fit inside the library's drop box. What happened next stunned her. When she was renewing her driver's license, she found that there was a warrant for a $570 ticket for overdue books. As she tried to explain the situation to the judge, Morgan said the judge did not want to hear her, quote, excuses and said she needed to take responsibility. Morgan said when she offered to pay for the missing books, even though they've been returned, the judge told her that they were beyond that point in the process and Morgan now needed to make things right. He said, she had said, the judge told me by returning the books late, I had done the equivalent of walking out of Walmart without paying for merchandise. They now refuse to reinstate my license until I pay the ticket, and there's an active warrant out for my arrest.
Wow.
You just got Dewey decimaled, bitch.
Morgan said that they are a single-income family and barely make ends meet with 5 children, including their 3-month-old baby, and she wants to fight the case but does not have the additional funds. She said she's been charged with theft of government property, a Class C misdemeanor that will show up on her record.
Oh, my God.
I think she started a GoFundMe and people are helping out with that. But
Tell her to, maybe I'll give her my mom's number because my mom got away with it for years. And
what was the end result of that, by the way?
I think she probably still has like boxes of library books in her basement. I don't know.
So this gal's actually, they're going after her. All right, and that's what I have in the Bizarre File for you. We're going to take a break. We'll come back in just a moment. More of the program on this Friday, so stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
After that, back on 93.3 WMMR.
Looks so nice out right now. I want to go out and sun my butthole like Nick did at Camp Out for Hunger that one time. It was a beautiful sunny day that morning, too. There's clouds over here, though, Steve. I don't know if you can see them
I
off
was
to the
looking.
right.
Go away!
I know. It's going to be off and on. We're going to get mostly cloudy skies this afternoon, but they're breaking up. They're getting it
I'm
moving
not
along.
susceptible to, the seasonal thing,
seasonal depression.
Seasonal depression. But
I am.
The past couple days, I got to say, I'm like, I need me some sun.
Yeah.
Rain, go away. Please come back another day. Did you guys say that when you were kids?
We said rain, go away, come again another day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there another line after that, or
2 in the pink, 1 in the stick?
Yeah, it was. Wait, rain.
If you
go.
don't, I don't care. I'll just wear your underwear or something like that.
Nope. Ours was Kathy and Jimmy want to go out and play. Like it was you inserted the name.
She modded it.
Yeah.
Huh. The other one was it's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring.
He went to bed.
With a bump on his head, couldn't wake up in the morning.
because he had a major brain injury.
Yeah, and died overnight.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
So a lot of those things are dark.
Yes.
Those little limericks and Aesop's fables and things like that.
Yeah, and little child's songs
Isn't
and whatnot. Ring Around the Rosie.
Rosie, yeah.
Yeah, it was about
The plague.
the plague or the Black
Yes.
Death or something like
Yes.
that. Yeah.
It was
Ring Around the Rosie, it was your nose would turn red or something like that. And
ashes all fall down.
yeah, pocket full of posies.
Yeah.
Posies are flowers, and they would use that, I think, to disguise the smell or
Of
something
your
like
rotting
that.
nose.
And then ashes, we all fall down. You're dead at that point.
Oh,
you
my
didn't know
God.
that?
Hey, kids.
I didn't. I was unaware of that. And now I got to go watch this video of my son when he was like 2 years old. He goes, "Hasha, hasha, we all fall down." It's the cutest thing. It's not as cute when a 48-year-old man says it. But
Okay. I thought you were looking up the facts.
I was looking for
Grandma.
the video so I could play.
I remember that video.
What was the one that preceded Hi Grandma? Do you have that? Do you have the other?
I mean, I do.
Boo ba ba giga ga.
Gag.
Ga 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 ba ba ba.
Hi, Grandma.
That's one of my favorites.
Casey's gonna look that up.
Well, what was really funny about that is I was doing that whole thing, and
It's a Siri.
but I didn't. You guys. Listen, sometimes I will start talking and I can see your eyes all glaze over. I'm like, oh, man, okay, how am I going to get out of this one? And I'm doing that, and your eyes glazed over, and you guys all were hushed quiet because you wanted that clean audio. I had no idea.
No.
I had no idea. But yes,
we have it?
we do have the whole thing right here.
I want to hear that.
Hi, Grandma.
Wait, do you have more? I want to know what our response was after. Were we just quiet, Case?
We let it be clean because we knew we were getting something wonderful. But
I'm sure we said
and it was
something.
your attempt. You were trying to foil Siri, correct?
No, I was trying to get Siri to repeat
all that back.
Yeah,
That's what
which was.
Hi, Grandma.
You started to sort of riff there musically. You should do a drum riff with that, Preston. Can you just?
I think I did, didn't I? I did one with Pierre and the Hey Everybody's Good to Have You on the Baba Tudaba.
I don't think you did this.
I did one of Casey's ranch dressing rant.
Yes.
I did a little play along drum video to that. But you know what? No, I didn't do one to this.
Hi, Grandma.
Because it is very syncopated. Yeah.
It's very rhythmic. Yeah.
The giggy ba.
The giggy ba.
Hi, Grandma.
Ba. All right. Anyhow, enough of this.
Yeah, come on.
Or did you want to explain some of the Ring Around the Rosie origins?
No, we don't have to.
Kathy, you wanted the whole clip? We got the whole clip.
Okay, all right.
Oh, thank you, Marissa. Here we go.
Thing where he asks Siri to call him a name, so for a little while, Siri would call him Poop for some reason.
Really?
And then I'm watching the World Cup game, and I've got two of my children on my lap, and they're just making noises. And so they would say something like, here, I'll do it on here.
Oh,
Ready?
okay.
Yeah.
Call me. Hi, Grandma. Okay. Oh, wait. I did it wrong.
Jeez.
We have to sit through that.
I lost a year of my life with that.
Hey, call me. Hi, Grandma.
There's another version.
Wow,
I need the alternate cut.
verse.
Yeah.
Second verse.
Why did you have to do it again?
Hang on.
Demonstrate.
Let's see if Siri repeat. Let's see if she does.
That's amazing.
know who you are, but you can tell me in Siri settings.
Oh, I didn't do it right.
That was good.
You clearly need help.
You must be mental.
Here, let's go back to the second one. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Call me. Hi, Grandma.
That's the original.
Right.
Oh, wait.
We're reliving.
I did it wrong.
Jeez.
We have to sit through that.
Christ, I lost a year of my life with that.
All right, here's the
Hey,
second
call
one.
me. Hi, Grandma.
Do diagram.
I like that one, too.
That one too. We need to isolate that one as well.
All right.
Well, folks, it's a Friday morning. Let's get something to eat via the connoisseur.
Hi, Grandma.
Hi, Grandma. We're going to do the connoisseur segment right about now. Mr. Announcer, do I get my...
Did you get your bell?
Yeah.
All right, here I am.
Well, we just usually have that.
I know. You're right. I was just...
He was living in that dream.
I'm going to leave with this one. It's a local story. The world's largest pickle party is coming to Philadelphia this summer. The Big Dill, the leading authority in the world of pickles, announced the Ultimate Pickles celebration will take place at Xfinity Live Saturday, June 15th.
Now, this is you, clearly.
Absolutely.
Has there been any reaching out to you? Do you play? There has to be some sort of synergy here. This cannot go on without you being a grand marshal.
No one
or pickle president or whatever.
No one has reached out to me personally. Marissa has reached out to the
who's been more vociferous than you about your adoration of pickles?
To the creator, right?
Preston, I want you to check your calendar.
Okay.
Because I may have tipped you off to this a few weeks ago.
Yeah, you did.
And said that we were in.
Oh,
we're in.
I didn't know that part.
I mean, do you want to be in?
For sure.
Then let's be in.
I'm all in on this.
How in is his inness?
Yeah, what does that mean?
It's deep in, Steve.
Oh, deep in.
Yeah.
Way deep.
We're way
It's
deep.
now your event. You're hosting it.
You are balls deep.
I told Marissa, I'm like, I want to be an announcer or a featured speaker or a something. What?
Your pickle that you designed has to be part of this.
Yeah. The Fishtown Pickle Project people,
which I
will be all over.
Unequivocally say, is it's the best pickle I've ever had.
Thank you very much.
It's the best pickle I've ever had.
They're geniuses at the Fishtown Pickle Project, and yes, it's called Preston's Picks, and I think you can still get them. I'm not sure that they wanted to put it on as a permanent part of their
They
menu.
should, yeah.
Preston, as a pickle aficionado, what are the do's and do nots of the
Of what?
of pickle making?
Oh, pickle making. I have only dabbled slightly in making it myself. So me and Carter were doing a little bit of pickling for a little while. It is surprisingly simple. It is easier than you think. You just have to get the proper pickle salt and spices, and then you can start to tinker with the flavors by adding a variety of things in there to spice it up a little bit. But there's things like mustard seed and whole peppercorns, and obviously you have to have vinegar, and you can throw things like rye seeds or fennel seeds and things in there to make it whatever flavor you want it to be. Now I made gherkins. Those were a pain in the ass.
Why?
Sweet gherkins, because the recipe that I read,
gherkin.
you had to actually take each one of these little bitty cucumbers.
Oh, you kidding me?
And you had to. There was a series of boiling them and cooling them off, and boiling them and cooling them off, and then you had to poke little holes in every single one of them.
It's too much.
You had to make the brine, which included sugar and all this stuff, and they didn't really turn out well. I think it was a crappy recipe that I had, but we really tried on that. But for this event, for the Pickle Festival, or the Big Dill as they're calling it, it's going to be Saturday, June 15th. Organizers said that it's from noon to 7 p.m., and you can immerse yourself into a world of pickle wonders throughout the day. There's going to be a diverse lineup of musicians, mummers, DJs, MCs, and mascots that will perform. There'll be a pickle rave with Xfinity's own DJ J. Roy.
With your own master of ceremonies, Preston Elliott.
Guests will have the opportunity to try pickle-inspired beverages crafted with premium spirits and gourmet pickles. I kind of draw the line at pickle drinks.
Okay.
I'm not into cocktails made with
Are you a
pickle
fan,
juice.
Kathy?
Like a pickle martini. I'm not a big martini fan, but a pickle martini.
All right, now I do like olives quite a bit, or pickled onions, which make it a Gibson in my martini, and I do like that. So maybe I am more into it than I think.
Redstone used to do a some sort of pickle martini. It was so good. It's no longer on their menu, and I don't know why, but it was great.
What are your thoughts on a pickle straw in like a Bloody Mary?
That's great.
That sounds good.
That's a good idea.
That has to have been invented already, right? Like that's
feel
too good of an idea.
I think it has.
Where do you guys stand
I
on
didn't come up with the idea that I
a pickle straw?
Yeah,
I think I've seen it before, Casey. Or I've heard of it before.
We've seen a hot dog straw before.
That might be it.
Yep.
Fried pickles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Really, really good. You'll be able to indulge in delicious food such as pickle pizza, pickle egg rolls, pickle grilled cheese, and pickle ice cream, which I've had, and it's okay.
Who brought the...
Meredith brought that in.
It was pretty decent.
And I forgot who made it for her. It was a local ice cream group. Oh, man, I can't remember. Anyhow, after trying all the cocktails and food, you can enjoy some of the activities such as pickle pitching, pickle ball, rock climbing, axe throwing, and a bunch more. Tickets started going on sale this past Wednesday for early bird insiders. There's registration at bigdill.com, and the general public tickets go on sale this coming Tuesday.
Okay.
And there's a variety of quote-unquote pickle adventures to choose from. There's VIP, early entry, premium, standard, and the Little Gherkin Pickle Pass for the kids as well. So I'm excited about this. I love all things pickle, man.
And it's the first one ever, right?
No. They had the Pickle Festival a few years ago. Carter and I went to it, and that was, where was that, Marissa? That was at Keener, or no, not Keener, that's in St. Louis.
Was that at the Piazza?
The Piazza, yes.
And then they've been doing this in other cities around, and they've been doing this lead up to have it at
All right.
Yeah, so it's like a touring thing.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
They've gone to different cities, and so, yeah, they're back. So I'm excited, man. This text says, I'm working the production of this Pickle Festival. I'll mention this to the owner, Kevin. What, that we've talked about this?
Yeah, and we'll just
Excellent.
do what we can do to get you as high a profile as possible.
I think you need to show up in the new Pickle Mobile, like the Wiener Mobile.
I would love to have that. I think we might have him on next week, or Marissa's working on that. We'll see about that.
All right.
All right. Anyhow, we need to do a movie clip. So you can identify this clip that has to do with food. What movie is this from? Here we go.
On top of spaghetti, all covered in ice. Lost my porn, she, oh, 'cause somebody.
Oh, my God. All right, 215-263-WMMR. What movie is that from? Order up. We'll do another local story. I got this story out of the Philly Voice, and Kristen Hunt is the person who wrote the article, and it is about the rooftop bars that are opening up soon and when they're opening up.
Yay!
Nice.
Yes. So the earliest one I have here, Kathy, starts on April 11th, next Thursday, which the weather's supposed to be fantastic.
Okay.
I think my favorite might be the Logan.
Okay.
Yeah. Where were we at? The Monaco for the Cora thing?
Yeah, that was cool.
It was excellent.
But I do like the Logan rooftop bar as
But
well.
what's the one that's opening up?
Well, I've got those. So the first
let's-
one is Liberty Point at Penn's Landing. And it's their third season, and it opens next Thursday at 4 p.m. And then the other one that she had on her list is Bach Bar.
Bach?
Yeah,
Bar.
that's like one of those trendy. I mean, Marissa probably can speak to it better than I can, but it's BOK, and it's people love going there to get photos. It's trendy, and foodies love it.
So my perception is that the amount of these rooftop bars is almost doubling in the area. Is that right?
I don't know. Hang on a second there.
There's definitely a lot of buildings that are using that space. Bach
Right.
Bar, Nick, is an old high school.
Right.
So it's Bach High School. So they use the gym, and this is like an old classroom that goes outside. When you're on the rooftop.
Marissa, it says it's permanently closed. Is that just the top?
Bach Bar?
Yeah.
Bach?
That's not true, because I was at a wine tasting there on Monday.
Okay.
It's not. This isn't a place that any layperson can go to. But the Five Below home offices or offices in Center City, dude, they have an amazing commissary with basically a rooftop bar. It's
man.
so cool.
By the way, the permanently closed thing, sometimes that's
Doesn't
not
work.
right.
I mean, it doesn't right. Yeah.
I have found that on a couple of occasions where you're on Google, right?
Yeah.
And it will say location, whatever, permanently closed. And it's not always correct. And I was actually talking to a person the other day who I said, hey, it said on here that you guys are permanently closed. And he goes, he kind of smiled when he said it. I was on a video conference with him. And he's like, yeah, it's the building we used to work in, and I'm not there any longer, but we aren't permanently closed. My wife had an issue with some other people that were working in our building and thinks that they
reported that?
kind of sabotaged them of sorts.
I was wondering if one could do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just real quick, I don't consider Liberty Point a rooftop bar.
Well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is outside bar. I don't know.
Because it is a cool space. It's down by the Seaport Museum.
Yeah, isn't it up on a level though?
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's kind of like on a ledge.
A ledge bar.
Wait, is it outside?
It's
Yes.
outside.
Yeah, I think that's probably when you think rooftop, you're outside.
All right, I'll mention these other ones. Marissa, you verify whether they're rooftop or not, and I may just be wrong.
Heard.
Victory Brewing Company, Saturday, April 13th.
It's in a basement.
No, Victory is actually, it's the old Fridays, right? Casey, near the Logan Hotel.
It's a good location.
It is a rooftop.
Nice.
Yep, its rooftop patio opens for the season next Saturday at 4 p.m., the 13th. Sunset Social opens on Monday, April 15th.
Yes, you guys have all driven by this. It is on when you're driving by 30th Street Station and you're going to 76 eastbound.
Yeah.
It's that big glass building.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like a rooftop right there that has a big TV screen. In fact, if you're waiting at the light, you'll be able to watch the TV screen as grass and all. It's really cool.
Yeah, the building is called the Sierra Center. And it's there.
Seriously.
Then you have Parks on Tap, and that will be opening Wednesday, April 17th. And that is, let's see here.
That's like a number of locations, right?
Yeah, they're all over the place. Steve, there's one in Manayunk right near the Old Mad River.
Oh, really?
Yeah, up the street.
And then the last one that she noticed in this is Morgan's Pier. Liberty Point's older sibling on the waterfront debuts later this month on April 18th.
You guys know Morgan's Pier as Rock Lobster.
You spend many
that's not a rooftop at all.
You spend many a
That's a
Friday
pier.
there, Preston.
I did for years.
Sensational soul cruiser.
Years and years and years. I was there every Friday. Yeah, we had a great time there. Most definitely. All right, anyhow, let's see if somebody knows what movie this particular clip is from.
On top of spaghetti, all covered in ice. Lost my porn machine. Oh, 'cause somebody.
All right, let's go to Chris, see if he knows the answer. Hi, Chris. Morning, bud.
Good morning to see y'all.
Good morning, Ed. All right, what movie is that from?
Could it be Austin Powers, The Spy That Shagged Me?
It is not. It is not. I apologize, Chris. You're close, but that is not it. Sorry, buddy. We got to let you go. All right, let me go next to, let's see, we have Jessica. Jessica, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Jessica, what movie is that from?
Is it Austin Powers 3?
3, yes, that is correct, yes. Gold member.
Gold member.
Is correct. So hang on the line, and here's what we have for you.
It's just a $25 Fandango gift card.
All right, we're going to set you up. All right, let's get another clip ready to go. What movie is this food clip from?
Stew. That's more of a thick soup than a name, really.
It's a name. It's short for Stuart.
Is it?
All right. 215-263-WMMR. Order up. All right, this is kind of interesting. If you are a fan of baseball, you could get paid $2,500 to measure every wiener in Major League Baseball. BetUS is looking for a wiener connoisseur as baseball season starts, asking them to find the largest wiener across 30 stadiums while getting paid to do so.
It's got to be Bryce Harper's wiener, right?
Who has the biggest? They're trying to determine this. Right?
Yeah,
in
this role, all you need to do is attend Major League Baseball games across the country and record the length of every hot dog at each stadium.
Dodger dogs are pretty long.
Are they?
Yeah, for Dodger Stadium.
Okay.
Are you a fan if the meat extends past out the bun?
Yeah.
You are?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm so thrilled on that. I like a nice bun to meat ratio.
Nah, if it's got more, then I'm cool. What I don't like is if it's too girthy. If you get the really big monster thick one,
You can't swallow it
my
all.
jaw hurts after a while.
No, if you're gonna have
and then you get surprised.
If you're gonna have a girthy dog, you can't just put it on a regular hot dog bun. You got to put it on like a long roll.
A girthy bun. I have a quick question.
Girthy dog. I'm writing that down. Hold on. That's a band name. All right, go ahead. The girthy dogs.
Do you guys like corn dogs?
Yes.
Love them.
Okay.
God, they're good.
Steve, I had a bite of one. I don't think I've ever had a corn dog in my entire life. Jace wanted one when we were in D.C. We got it from a food truck. That crap is disgusting.
Oh, no. It's
I've had bad ones, Kat.
magic on a stick.
I was like, I bit it, I tasted it, and I was like, I don't ever want to taste that ever
Corn
again.
dogs are very popular, though.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I always hear people talk about almost like a guilty pleasure or something you would get.
It's severely bad for you.
Yeah.
They're terribly bad for you. They're deep fried. It's cornmeal and obviously on a dog. But I think when I was a kid, I would devour those things. I would just drench them in mustard and eat them that way.
Yeah.
Yum.
Yeah.
I haven't had one in ages.
What about like corn dog bites?
Those are good too, most definitely. I think the Leah Course Center sells some of those, which are really tasty.
Kathy, do you like pigs in a blanket?
Yeah, I don't mind those.
Okay.
I think that's what I thought it would be more like that.
Is that phyllo dough? What is that?
No, I mean, you can use regular. When we make pigs in a blanket, we use just the crescent rolls.
Okay.
But phyllo dough could work too.
Yeah, I like them. I like them a lot.
So the only difference is it's more of like a almost like corn muffin type of texture that you get with a corn dog, but not as sweet as a corn muffin.
You didn't even. You did not need to tell me you didn't like corn dogs. I would have assumed that it was like
Yeah, I wasn't into it.
So they're looking for each hot dog to be measured and recorded. They're looking for the longest length, diameter, weight, and the price of the hot dog.
Are they including vein count?
No. You will get $2,500 to do it and a $500 gift card from the Major League Baseball gift shop and a 1-year subscription to MLB TV. So you got to look up BetUS to get the information on how you can become that hot dog connoisseur or wiener connoisseur, if you will. All right, we need to find out what movie this clip is from.
Stew. That's more of a thick soup than a name, really.
It's a name. It's short for Stuart.
Is it?
Okay, we'll go to Kevin. Hey, Kev.
Morning.
Morning, buddy. All right, what movie, please?
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes, hang on. We have a prize for you.
It's a $25 Fandango gift card brought to you by Preston and Steve.
Oh, wow. We're very generous.
Let's play another clip. See if you know what movie this food clip is from.
Chocolate.
All right, 215-263-WMMR. Order up. Hormel Chili has come up with a clever answer to the long-standing problem of double dipping. They have introduced double dippable chips.
Double dippable chips. I'm interested.
Yeah,
Let's hear what we got.
These chips are made with the help of a specialty food creator from Minnesota. They feature a special perforated line down the middle, which lets you easily snap them into two pieces for dipping.
Love it.
It's kind of dumb.
Yeah, I think it's what you normally would do is I would take a small bit of the chili or whatever, and you put it in a small, and you can double dip your own stuff.
Your own stuff. Wait, I love how you both were like, that's stupid. And I was like, love it.
Love it. You can, because you can break. You can already break.
Yeah.
But I guess it will allow you to break this a little more evenly.
All right.
I mean, and it's like any of the chip, different versions of the chips,
the
like
scoop.
the scoop and all that kind of
I
thing.
do like the scoop.
I do too.
I'm a fan of the scoop.
I'm conflicted with the scoop. You know why? It just doesn't seem like a legit tortilla chip to me. Because tortilla chips
looks like a little flour.
Should be a little misshapen and unique, but I do like the practical application.
It works for me, and I'll tell you this, and I don't know why, but for some reason, I will eat the scoop chips
all by themselves.
Yeah,
they're good.
It's a little difficult though to are you biting it in half or are you putting the whole thing in your mouth?
Right.
Which
shape-wise.
one?
It's a little strange.
The scoop one?
The scoop one,
that's they're bite-sized.
Yeah, but I'm saying even if you can get the whole thing in your mouth, it's that scoop. So now it's like jamming into the roof of your mouth.
You guys like your tortilla chips salty?
Yeah.
Yes.
I do not.
Oh, you know what?
I like unsalted tortilla chips.
Oh, completely unsalted?
If I'm going to go, Steve, I agree with your assessment. Like the scoopable ones are fine on their own because they're salted. But if I'm going to go tortilla chip with salsa, I like
want it
unsalted.
saltless. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you go to Chipotle, sometimes you'll get a chip that has basically all the salt on
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Because they make their own, right?
I think
they
they
make
do.
them fresh, and I do like fresh made ones, but because sometimes Nick, they are lightly salted. The salt is kind of distributed.
That's okay.
But yes, Casey, you're right. Every now and then you get one that's like, what the hell?
Side note: I went to Chipotle the other day, and it was like the goddamn Chipotle commercial. The lady was back on the grill cutting it up with a carving knife, and it was like steaming. And she changed my order just because of how damn good it looked. It was like, this is exactly what I wanted. It is exactly how it looks like on the commercials.
I need to go to that Chipotle because all the ones that I go to, the people just don't care.
They hate being there.
They were so nice. It was a really pleasant Chipotle experience.
Right.
It is the whole dining experience is better when you have people that look like they're enjoying what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And are there to
What do you want?
make your experience a little bit nicer. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry you got an extra salty chip.
To make things more fun, Hormel Chili is giving out special dip kits.
Dip kits.
Which only a few are available. And if you want to get one, you go to their website, chilidoubledip.com. They are perfect for parties, including a bag of double dippable chips, can of Hormel chili, and a recipe for making a tasty 7-layer chili cheese dip.
Nick, I am curious, where do you get unsalted chips?
Like a grocery store. Like if I'm shopping for chips to have at home with salsa or whatever. But you're right. Like if you're out at a restaurant or whatever, you have to ask for it specifically.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure if you knew the particular, because I'm curious. I'd like to try an unsalted tortilla chip.
I'm so hungry now.
Maybe Lay's or something.
I had a great, by the way, and I don't mean to derail here, but may I just give a shout out to the quesadilla? And that's it. I want to
That's all.
Love to the quesadilla.
Just in general.
All right, we need to know what movie this is from.
Chocolate.
All right, we'll go to Christy and see if we can get the answer. Hi, Christy. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
All right, Christy, what food clip is that movie from?
That is from the movie Frozen.
It is. Yes. No sad bro. So that means Christy gets prize. What are we going to set her up with, Casey?
Brought to you by TNA Wrestling. You got a Fandango gift card.
All right, fair enough. All right. Wait, no, we got plenty of the clip.
Yeah. Which one do I want to do? It's
Whatever
this
you want.
one.
All right, what movie is this clip from?
Waitress! What did he order?
Oh, he has a special.
That's what I ordered! Change my order to the soup. Good move.
All right. 215-263-WMMR. Even know the answer. Order up. All right, here's another local story. One of the largest food truck festivals in America is back this April, and it will have the largest lineup of food trucks and food vendors ever. It is the Maniac Street Festival, street spelled S-T-R-E-A-T. And it will return to Main Street on Sunday, April 21st.
That is a cranking festival. And, what is wild is that you have all the food trucks out there, but it also sends a lot of business into the restaurants along the way there.
Of course. I'm curious as to why they spell it S-T-R-E-A-T.
Eat.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Food.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't get it.
I can translate for you.
There was something. Oh, man, I wish I could remember. There was something.
You didn't get it?
Oh, man. And all of you were like all in, and I was like,
That is funny.
I was like waiting for it to hit me, and it never did. So funny.
All right, so there's going to be 70 plus food trucks and food vendors lining the main strip of the historic neighborhood. The most award-winning food trucks from Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and beyond are going to be firing everything from pizza, tacos, lobster, burgers, ravioli, dumplings, pickles, pound cake, corn on a stick. Of course, maybe that's Pornhub. Bacon on a stick, grilled cheese, wok bowls, and much, much more. I like food truck festivals, but there is a dilemma when you do have them.
Yeah.
You've got to first walk the territory.
Yes.
And see what is worth going to.
Because you're only going to eat once.
And then you have to assess the line issue and figure out, is it worth waiting for? And if you've made a mistake and you don't really care for what you've gotten, then there's a wave of disappointment, Yep. But it is exciting when you roll up and you see all those options.
Yeah, and that's what you do. You kind of get the lay of the land, and then you decide what you want to hone in on.
Festivities will include shopping vendors, local artists and makers, Maniac merchants, live music, and other surprises as well. Apparently, this event, according to the press release, has the distinction of being the largest food truck festival in the Philadelphia region, the largest food truck festival in the state of Pennsylvania,
for now,
and one of the largest food truck festivals in America.
Do they have fireworks too?
They don't.
They're not like our event.
Food trucks and fireworks. We add a little bonus to it, and
we had drones
and drone show as well.
It's a drone show.
So this will be Sunday, April 21st. So just a heads up.
Interesting.
It is, the Maniac Street Eat Festival that's taking place. All right, what movie is this clip from?
Waitress! What did he order?
Oh, here's a special.
That's what I ordered! I changed my order to the soup. Good move.
All right, we will go to Tim. Hey, Tim.
Good morning.
Morning, bud. What movie, please?
That would be Spaceballs.
Of course. Yep. Hang on, buddy. We got something for you.
It's a $25 Fandango gift card.
All right. And then we have one more clip.
Nope.
Oh, we're done?
We're done.
Oh, wow.
That's all we got.
All right.
I got more food stories.
That's
Let's
cool.
do it.
Yep. All right, order up. A new report out from the New York Post that claims that several fast food restaurants are imposing limits on how long people can dine at their establishments.
It's like the old man. Like
That's exactly what I was thinking
just
of.
Sit and, because it's like free refills.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a Reddit post additionally detailed a, quote, eat and run policy at an undisclosed Wendy's location, which allows 30 minutes to dine. The sign also notes that there is no loitering or solicitation. The sign adds, the management must enforce these rules. Your cooperation is appreciated.
Are they that crowded that they need the seating? I mean, I'll go in from time to time. Nobody...
I don't think it's a crowd thing. I think it's just you're hanging around.
Loitering, yeah.
It's
And a lot
loitering.
of times that'll be the case. And maybe during high occupancy, like lunch rushes or something,
I hate when restaurants do this. I just do. I can't stand it. Like they almost like where they're just putting a limit on it for you. Listen, I get I'm because I'm not a person who's going to sit there and just sit around the table and talk and not order more drinks or not order more food or whatever it is. So if it's, I get it that they're doing it for those people, but I just when they put that limit on there, or if you call for a reservation and they say that, I'll go, oh, you know what? It's okay. I'll find somewhere else.
Wow.
It just bothers me.
This is primarily fast food,
Yeah,
right?
I know. I was talking about a restaurant.
But what about a restaurant that does a lot of business and they need to, they need to turn it over?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I get it. I understand why they do it. But for me, like if I'm going to continue to drink and spend money and you're going to kick me out of the table.
Yeah, if you're still ordering, I don't think there's a reason for you to leave because you're
sometimes
spending more money.
But sometimes there is a limit and you can't. So now you're looking at your watch. And here's why it bothers me. Oftentimes when I go out to eat, I'm with a large party. We'll have family in town, whatever it is. And 2 hours, which is typically what they'll put on it, is if you have a large group, that's cutting it close.
Yeah.
You're right.
Casey, when you mentioned the old man group, it was 30 years ago when I worked at McDonald's, but there was an old man group that came in. And yes, it was fast food and whatever. I actually found it to be really nice. It was a place where they could gather, they could come in, and Steve, they literally got like the 69-cent cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah, and nurse that thing for hours.
But they would sit around and tell stories, and it made them happy, and it was usually like Sunday afternoon or whatever. And so I enjoyed the fact that they got to do that.
And for years at the Dunkin' Donuts I worked at, there would be delivery drivers from various, they dress in brown often. And they would come in and they would hide their trucks in the back. And they would sit in there for hours.
And just hang.
And then there was also overtime.
Uh-huh.
And they were great guys, but they would take up like 3/4 of the place.
And there are some people who use it as kind of a bit of an office. Like Caroline goes to Starbucks and does homework there.
Yeah.
And so we'll spend a fair amount of time now ordering, food and beverage as well, but we'll take up more than an hour there.
Didn't Sam Milkman work at
He did.
Yeah.
He
He was
did.
a former program director of WMMR, and when he was in between jobs, he would go to Panera and because they had free Wi-Fi and get work done there.
But did they sort of at some point, and I could be wrong, but sort of advertise it as that?
Yes.
That you can go there, you can get the free Wi-Fi, you can get your work done there.
Oh, so they did that, and then that got quashed during COVID when they were not wanting you to be in there at all. But yeah, I agree though with the restaurant thing, Kathy, on some level. But I'm always acutely aware. I can't. Once the meal's over, I want to get the F out.
Same.
There was another article I read the other day that is talking about the potential for a lot of fast casual and fast food restaurants of eliminating the dining room altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And that would include like Burger King, KFC, even Panera, and a few other places. Now, how truthful that article is, I'm not really sure, but apparently it's something that's being whispered about, and not maybe in every single one of their restaurants, but maybe some of them. Casey, I've noticed there's a new Starbucks in Wildwood. You know where that is?
Yeah, right at the corner.
And they have a walk-up window, which is
I
great.
love that.
Yeah.
Wait, where is it?
It's in Wildwood.
Is it close to Keenan's?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So it's like closer to you guys.
Yes, it's essentially it's like Rio Grande and New Jersey, I think is where it is.
That's Park, actually.
But that's where the other one is too, right? Is it close to the other one?
It's if you know where the McDonald's is as you're coming in, Wildwood, it's right across the street from there.
Okay.
Yeah, but they have a walk-up window. I'm like, that's a good idea.
Has anyone seen the McCafe or whatever it is?
No.
Are there any of those around here?
I remember us talking about it, but I never actually...
they were going to be a big, robust rollout, and I haven't seen any of them.
Any of them, yeah.
Here's a text that says, my 100-year-old grandmother, who recently passed, would go to McDonald's every Friday at 9 a.m. with all her friends. They would order the oatmeal and coffee and talk. And this is making me think of her.
Hi, Grandmom.
And
I mean,
smile.
listen, my mom. My mom lives with me, and she can be lonely from time to time. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So.
Yeah, if there's a place that they can go and meet and socialize.
You want to go where people know
your name.
People are all the same, is what I'm trying to say.
Do you ever feel inclined to let her out?
I can't. She's rabid.
Grandma at night.
All right. Oh, I wanted to get one more thing in here.
All right.
And I'll tie these two together because it's not. I had a lot of local connoisseur stories.
It's incredible.
This week, a Philadelphia chef was named a finalist in this year's James Beard Awards, and that is Jesse Ito of Royal Sushi and Izakaya. He's among 5 finalists up for Best Chef.
Is it Ito because of eat?
No, ITO.
He should change the way he spells it, though. EATO.
Out of the 10 semifinalists named earlier this year, Ito was the only one to advance.
So I was reading Michael Klein's article about this, pointing out that this area usually gets lavished with attention, and this is the one, which is kind of wild.
The James Beard Award winners are going to be announced during a ceremony June 10th at the Lyric Opera of Chicago. And speaking of James Beard winners, our buddy Jose Garces announced a special one-year anniversary celebration, which is this Sunday at Amada in Radnor. Oh, nice. For the celebration, Chef will host a special brunch party with live music, flamenco dancing, brunch, private tours, light bites, welcome drinks, tonic cart, and more. I don't know what a tonic cart is.
Maybe gin and tonics? And vodka tonics?
It says nothing about booze. It just says tonic, so maybe.
Steve, that Amada is where the Harvest used to be in Radnor. Right next to the Fleming Steakhouse.
So during the event, by the way, I went to Fleming's last week.
Yeah,
how'd you like it?
It was fantastic.
I haven't been there since pre-pandemic, and I love that restaurant. It's really good.
It was, it's like your classic steakhouse.
Yes.
Really, really good food.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
No, it's for people who can afford to go to a really nice steakhouse, but it was out of this world. So anyhow, for a celebration, the chef will host the special brunch party. During the event, guests will enjoy private tours of the private dining room, learn about the launch of something new coming to the main line, and get to meet the chef himself. Tickets are only $40, and it comes with music, dancing, small bites, a first welcome drink, and family-style brunch as well. So that's not bad. That's this Sunday. I'm not sure what time that is, but you can check with Amada Radnor.
I would like to see Jose Garces, and we love him dearly, do a hot yoga class.
Dude, stop it.
I can't.
Jose, when he comes in here, God love him, he sweats.
I mean,
he gets a little sweaty.
Buckets, Steve. Like there would have to be.
I love the guy.
We need to, the next time that Chef comes here, let's have a designated somebody. You know how Meatloaf used to have that little towel?
Yeah,
that little,
we should bring Hollis Thomas in to give him a monogrammed sweat towel.
And we can have someone to pat his forehead.
I mean,
all the sweaters.
Dude,
we could have all the sweaters in.
Yeah.
That is such a funny accessory and now I'm talking about Hollis Thomas, but he doesn't go anywhere without a swet towel.
And that becomes a thing, an adaptation.
Like his,
I love it. Yeah.
Like some people walk with a cane who don't need, who don't need a cane.
If you go back and watch the Paradise by the Dashboard Light video of Meatloaf, in one hand, he's got a little hanky.
Louis Armstrong.
And it became, Louis Armstrong too. Yeah. And it became a signature item that he would have all the time when he was on stage. And he needed it because the dude sweated a lot.
Like Larry Flint's wheelchair.
Yeah. No, he needed that.
No, he did?
Oh. By the way, Jose said, Amada is near and dear to my heart. It was the very first restaurant I opened when I went out on my own in 2005. The reception we've gotten in Radnor has been amazing.
Such a good place.
We've created a gorgeous space that carries the best of the Amada Philadelphia experience through the main line, and I look forward to thanking everyone this Sunday and celebrating with everyone. And of course, Amada was where his Spanish tapas concept was put into play.
Yeah, great stuff.
So good luck, Chef. We love you, man.
Yes.
All right. That's it. We're wrapping it up. That's it. All we have in time for the connoisseur.
That's it for the connoisseur. Hi, Grandma.
This morning. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back in a moment. Don't forget our Word of the Week prize gets given away today. Don't miss out on it. We'll be back in just a second.
Thank you very much.
Historical musical event took place 30 years ago. Kurt Cobain died.
This very day.
Took his own life. Well, he was found on April 8th.
And when would
it says here that he had died on April 5th.
Okay, and the body was found days later.
Something
I remember
along
that.
those lines.
It was in that sort of a cabin, right?
I don't know, it was a cabin, but it was a smaller house.
I thought it was the garage next to his house. I thought he had like an upstairs too.
Oh boy, we're 30 years ago it seemed like everyone knew the story, and I'm a little vague on it now.
Well, about a month or two ago, I listened to Dave Grohl's book, and it was wonderful, by the way. And he doesn't spend too much. I mean, he doesn't dwell. He obviously talked about how emotionally impactful Kurt's death was and their relationship with each other, but. One of the interesting things that I had forgotten about was Dave himself had already gone through mourning Kurt's death because about a month earlier he had overdosed and it was reported to Dave that he was dead.
Yes, yeah, I remember
a lot of
that.
people thought he had died, and so Dave had this really weird thing where he had to go through it twice, and the second time around was like, all right, hang on a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We kind of went through
What
this
a weird
already.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. You sort of prep for it, and when the real one hits, you're like, so we're looking at the place. It was
It's an on-site greenhouse. Is
an
where they
on-site
found
greenhouse.
him
Okay.
on his property.
Right. And not to get graphic, but he had used a shotgun on himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was messed up, man. He had obviously had some real problems with drugs and mental health issues, I would assume.
You know what I found kind of wild, and I don't know if Grohl goes into this, Preston, in the book, but recently learning how actually funny and up and had a good sense of humor Cobain possessed. I was unaware of that. I always thought of him as this perpetually introspective, right? Thoughtful, even dour kind of guy, but that was just one side of him.
Exactly. Yeah. Dave does touch on that stuff and what he was like personality wise, and that he was, kind of childlike and,
right.
and having fun,
His passing is, for me anyway, one of those where were you when you heard it moments in life. Do you guys remember where you were when you found out?
We were talking off air about that. Chuck was in here and Steve and I, and oddly enough for his, I don't remember.
I do.
Yeah.
I was I went to Bucknell University, and Penn State was only about 45 minutes away, and I was hanging out with some friends. It was just a nice spring day, and it was obviously pre-internet, pre-cell phones and whatever, and it just started to be one of those word-of-the-mouth things, and it was, did you hear about Kurt Cobain? And it kind of like swept over the entire college campus in a really awful and tragic way. I remember being really sad and down about it.
I remember leaving a Boston market on Route 10, Hicksville Road in Long Island, and it's one of those things where, again, it's like, because listen, I very much enjoyed, Nirvana. I wasn't a massive fan. I preferred some other grunge bands at the time, but I remember in that moment thinking, it's like one of those things like you assumed it would happen because it seemed like, as you said, there was that other thing where he had the stomach issues and you thought he died in Italy or whatever, and all these things were going on. So I was sort of prepared for it. But then when it happens, it's like, oh, it really happened.
In the Dave's book, he did describe what it was like going from essentially being just a bar band and to all of a sudden the toast of the town.
Right.
I mean, to all of a sudden it flipped. Like they were playing garbage. They were just playing dumps.
Yeah.
Dragging their own stuff around. And within a very short amount of time, they had the biggest gigs you could possibly imagine with the magnifying glass, just focused on them.
Yeah, I remember.
And they didn't know how quite to handle it.
I remember being at WDRE in New York, which preceded the one down here. And I remember the program director coming down the hallway, and he had the CD, and he goes, "This is it. This is the next step."
Yeah.
Because everyone, and I go, okay, well, let's hear what the next step is like. I was like, well, okay, that sounds like the next step.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing when Kurt died, but I remember the first time I heard "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
Yeah,
I'm like, whoa. All right, this is something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a friend, Kim, who sent me and I think Marissa a video of Billy Corgan the first time he ever heard "Smells Like Teen Spirit." It's pretty wild because he's saying he hears this, right? And then the drums kick in and he's like, hang on a second. This is this.
Okay.
Is that it's when, and you had mentioned Boston Market, but More Than a Feeling, it's the same guitar riff as More Than a Feeling. Not this part, obviously. It's when the song kicks in. And that's what Billy Corgan heard, right? And then...
Oh, okay. It's the down.
And then sure enough, when Nirvana was in concert playing Smells Like Teen Spirit, they went into More Than a Feeling as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he had acknowledged it as well.
I dig that.
Yeah.
Kurt did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Marissa, if we can find that audio, we can play it so you can hear it.
Remembered who was one person who commented on his sense of humor.
This
Here it
part.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Rip off. No, it was Weird Al when he did this Smells Like Teen Spirit video.
Yeah.
And he'd have some artist that he would do their song and they'd be less than thrilled, like Coolio or whatever.
Right.
But he said Cobain loved it. Loved the video, loved the marbles in his mouth and the whole thing.
I go back and forth on Kurt on whether or not he was the genius that he is made out to be.
Right.
And I know that he is. And I don't know. I go back and forth on it.
Well, I think, would you think, so for point of reference, for me, I'm older. I remember when Chopin died.
Yeah.
For me, John Lennon would have been another seismic, individual where I thought, okay, that was one of those moments. And Cobain was for many that moment.
Well, and here's the thing about that band and about the song Smells Like Teen Spirit. And for those who may be too young to understand this, it was a seismic shift in rock music.
Mm-hmm.
It changed. Now, these other bands that flew in after them, Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots and a few others, were already bubbling up. I mean, it wasn't like Nirvana influenced them to create this song and then they created a band. And then there was already this undercurrent that was happening. But Nirvana kicked down the door.
Mm-hmm.
And once that door was kicked down, this flood came in. And I remember watching something on VH1, and it was Janie Lane of Warrant, the band Warrant, who was having huge hits. They had huge hit success. And I think he said he came into the record company's office, and like the day after Smells Like Teen Spirit hit, their big picture behind the desk of the front offices of the record company, the Warrant picture was taken down, and the Nirvana picture was put up because all that stuff, all that kind of glam rock thing, which I did have fun with at the time when it was the format du jour. It had gotten old. It was repetitive. The same stuff was coming out. People were cranking this out.
Factory-ish.
And it was factory-ish. It was also very shallow.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this heavy guitar-oriented stuff without guitar solos. And by the way, the guitar solos were getting ridiculous at that time too. They were just super duper speedy and anyway, there was a kind of a candy-coated feel that a lot of the rock music had at that time, except for Guns N' Roses.
Yes, they were able to,
because they were already
transcend,
happening, and they had made a change as well. They were transcending, but Nirvana took it in another direction, and then with them, right behind them, walking through the door was Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots and Soundgarden, and it was like, oh my God, an entire format of music came out, and then you had the Toadies and all these other bands just started hitting, and it was a really cool, exciting time for rock music.
Did you see the video surface sometimes of Nirvana's Pat's Chili Dog commercial?
No, I missed it.
Yeah, it was really good.
I gotta see that.
There's a meme that's been sent around many times, and I love it. It's these were released 44 days of each other in 1991. Metallica's Black Album, Pearl Jam 10, Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, which are great GNR records, by the way. Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic by the Peppers, Bad Motorfinger by Soundgarden, and Nevermind by Nirvana.
Yeah, a lot of people were looking for something new.
Yeah,
at that time, because I was starting to come around.
Pat's Chili Dog. If you like your dogs, it's Pat's Chili Dog.
Remember?
Do you really like your dogs? How do you like your dogs? Rape me with a chili dog.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
This song in the Batman movie.
Oh my God.
So good.
It's sensational. And of course, you have a slight love of Batman, but Giacchino's music and everything together is perfect.
That's a little some of that alt stuff got a little too dark, and mopey for me, like that song. But is this Rape Me?
No, this is Polly.
Oh, Polly.
Pat's Chili Dogs.
God,
Pat's Chili Dogs.
This is their corn dog spin-off that they did. Yeah.
Conveniently
I'm curious, Preston, when you talked about your assessment of Cobain's genius.
Yeah.
And then when you think about that, is your thought process comparing him to other artists?
No, it was just comparing the depth of some of the lyrics that, wow, this is real deep poetry, and I think some of it is just kind of dribble, Some of it's just kind of words that they slapped together that really didn't have as deep of a meaning as maybe some people were interpreting it as, which got kind of a little pompous to me, and I was like, well, and I can't blame the band for that. I can't blame Kurt for that.
Right.
It's like,
you know what I mean?
It's like you become the thing, like in the Batman, you become the thing that you hate. And
well, that's kind of what happened to Kurt.
And
that's
so,
what tortured him.
What I find so fascinating about that is you were talking about Dave Grohl. You had a champ, and from what I understand, Kurt felt the weight, the onus of being the songwriter, the creative fuel for Nirvana. And I'm like, dude, if you had just turned around, the guy right behind you was, a Mount Vesuvius of songwriting capability.
And at that point, David had already written a bunch of those songs that ended up becoming Foo Fighter stuff, but he felt it was intrusive to introduce that because this was clearly, and he saw the genius in Kurt.
Right.
He saw it and he knew it. Dave's a smart guy like that,
Yeah.
It's just interesting, like the sample size and the number of years we've had with the Foo Fighters compared to Nirvana. I mean, really, Nirvana, we got 4 years, maybe 3 out of them, for popularity from 91 when Nevermind came out. I know they existed before that, but then he died in 94. So it's such a small sample size. And we think about an artist who we lost at the age of 27. I'm 48 now. When I think of a 27-year-old, I think of that person being really, really young. And what we've missed out on because Kurt decided that he didn't want to live anymore. Like the rest of the world didn't get to experience what Kurt might have been able to do had he gotten through that pain, had he gotten through that darkness.
Do you know what, though? And this is going to sound weird, but it is a classic. It adds to the mythos. It is a classic rock star life trajectory. In all the best ways and all the worst ways.
There's a lot of company, too.
Yeah,
Jimi
exactly,
Hendrix and Janis Joplin and Jim Morrison, and they're considered the absolute greats. Amy Winehouse, the 27 Club.
Were they too? And again, you want them, and I know this sounds weird, if they were to live longer, would have been a Janis Joplin, Pat's Chili Dog?
Possibly. Kathy.
Oh, Lord, don't you get me some Pat's Chili Dogs.
Kath, how hot is Kurt Cobain?
No, you know what? I
think he's gorgeous.
I wasn't like horrified when this happened. I remember like someone telling me, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't, I remember where
you
it was.
You weren't there when it happened.
No, but I wasn't like a huge Nirvana fan.
You were only in second grade.
That's true, Casey. So that's probably why. Yeah.
No, but his attractiveness.
No, not for me. I mean, he's not an ugly guy for sure, but.
Hang on a second. Frank's been on hold for a little while. We're going to go to him. Hi, Frank. Morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, Frank?
Not much.
All right, what's up?
Yeah, we didn't know. We drove to Fairfax, Virginia on April 8th, and we were listening to tapes on the ride down. I was in the fourth row of a Pearl Jam concert. Eddie Vedder said if it wasn't for Kurt Cobain, none of us would be here.
So did Eddie Vedder, were you at the concert? Did Eddie Vedder deliver the news?
No, he said, I'm not going to be the bearer of bad news, but if it wasn't for Kurt Cobain, none of us would be here.
Wait, so when you guys got to the Pearl Jam show, you already knew that Kurt Cobain had passed?
We didn't know.
All right, so it wasn't until after the concert, maybe the next day, after what he had said rang true to you.
Right after the concert.
Okay.
We heard somebody talking about it.
For fans of music and of chili dogs.
You can find the concert on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll check it out. Thank you, Frank.
Yeah, if you think of those, I always think of the movie Singles. For me, seems like because I love that movie and I love the soundtrack. And there's your sort of Whitman sampler of all that was right.
Yeah.
In case of all that was the grunge that I really enjoyed. I did love that period.
Yeah,
and I found it to burn itself out pretty quickly.
Yeah, you know it's of all and. Well, let me ask you: is Smashing Pumpkins grunge?
He would probably say no,
not grunge, but alt.
But I think they sit right in that pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
I just love this. I think Siamese Dream is a perfect album.
Yeah.
And so, because when you mentioned singles, the song Drown just
it's one of my all-time favorites.
I love that one.
Here,
So, yeah.
we have this clip of Nirvana playing Smells Like Teen Spirit and then going into More Than a Feeling.
All right.
This is at the Reading Festival.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. That's funny.
That's going to stick with me for a while now.
Yeah.
Nice. But I did, you know what? Kurt had an interesting voice. He had that that uniqueness that sometimes almost has like a double tone sound to it, which I always found really cool and haunting. There are some people like Rod Stewart has something similar to. I'm not saying they sound alike.
No, I know what
but
you're
they have a
saying.
uniqueness about the tone in their voice that you just don't get from anybody else that helped them stand out.
Early Cobain, you wouldn't even recognize.
Is that pre-puberty?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But they were, him and the drugs. He and Courtney Love were so clearly on heroin at that time. You could see in interviews that they were just really messed up, and you just knew something was probably going to happen. I didn't think a suicide.
No, I did
but
not.
I thought an overdose was definitely on.
There was that medical scare. I assume this is what Grohl was talking about when he had that.
Yeah, he had an OD.
Yeah,
about a month before. Yeah.
Pearl Jam is one of my favorite bands, and I often think about the fact that Pearl Jam made it out of the 90s, and I'm grateful for that. But, we lost Chris Cornell, we lost Kurt Cobain, we lost Lane Staley, even Chester Benningtons of the world, Scott Weiland's. Like, none of those guys made it, and for whatever reason, Pearl Jam was able to survive and be intact. I think a lot about the relationship that Eddie and Kurt had, and I think part of the reason why Eddie was able to make it out of the 90s was because Kurt didn't. I think that impacted those guys so much so that they realized, all right, let's at least keep trying. Let's at least keep going.
By make it out of the 90s, you mean alive?
Partially
Eddie?
alive, but also partially viable. Pearl Jam still sells out arenas, and all due respect to Smashing Pumpkins, but they don't. Why is Pearl Jam still a viable commercial artist where other bands that originated in that time don't sell as many records, don't sell as many tickets?
Maris?
I love this conversation because my relationship with Nirvana is so different. I was in 7th, 8th grade at that time, and so that I was finding music by myself, and I had bought Nirvana Unplugged before I even knew of Nevermind. So pretty much every song, it took me actually years to realize that every song on that, or almost every song, was a cover. I thought Nirvana sang Man Who Sold the World. Like, I thought it was a Nirvana song.
Right.
But when you talk about his voice, like, I just knew that pure Kurt voice in those songs, and I still to this day think that's the best Unplugged album that happened.
It's huge, pretty huge. Yeah.
Carey.
Oh, and that
I think
sweater.
Corey Feldman at the public library.
No, honest to God, and this is nothing against Nirvana or Pearl Jam didn't unplug, but Mariah Carey's Unplugged album is hands down the best one that they ever put out.
I also have to give credit to my mom because we were on a bus trip to Washington, D.C., Waldron Mercy Academy class of 94. And my mom was the one that told us that Kurt died.
Really?
Preston, I feel like my mom and your mom are very similar where they were like very in tune with stuff.
Yeah.
And my mom was breaking this news and it kind of went over our heads a little bit. But to this day, I still remember that moment that we were on the bus.
Case best live would be Hasselhoff at the Dusseldorf Arena.
No,
Dusseldorf.
yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
That's where he first did Locomotion.
Yeah.
Is there a version of him doing
Yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah.
What's Hooga Shaka?
That's right. No, that's Hooked on a Feeling.
Hooked on a Feeling. He does that.
Locomotion is everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, Dusseldorf.
Lane Staley died on this day in 2002.
Oh, and somebody else pointed out Shannon Hoon.
That's another one.
Of Blind Melon.
Yeah.
If you ever want to see a descent, he chronicled his own descent.
He did. He videoed himself.
Wasn't he on a bus for hours? And
and froze or something?
No,
I don't know.
Had died from an overdose and was cruising around
sitting on
like
the bus?
LA or something like that, and had been dead for a long time before. I think I'm remembering this correctly.
Wow.
And then they finally discovered that.
That's a band I went back and dove into a few months ago. Great freaking band.
Change
man.
is an awesome song.
Toes Across the Floor.
Awesome
is
song.
Tones of Home.
And Tones of Home is a brilliant song.
Yeah.
And at that point, man, people in that era were dropping left and right.
Yes.
Sublime.
Sublime.
Yes. What's his name?
Bradley
Knoll.
Yeah.
Was another OD, and that guy didn't even really get a chance to.
No,
his stuff really took off right as he passed away, and then it exploded.
Yeah, he died, and then the record came out like 2 or 3 weeks later, and then became huge.
Brilliant songwriter.
Jeff Buckley's another one. I mean, it's not classic rock or anything like that, or even rock music, but like Jeff Buckley started to ascend and then passed away. He drowned diving into the Mississippi River.
Wow.
The mighty miss.
Yeah,
old man.
Deep river.
Yeah, that was a weird time. The people were dropping the stars were dropping like flies.
Farley, yeah.
We've talked about when celebrity or people that mean so much to you pass, and I can remember. Yeah, I mean it just F's you up. Bruce Lee, for some reason. I was getting so into Bruce Lee, and a good bulk of my fandom occurred after he had died, But yeah, all those from Elton John to recently, I guess, when Bowie died, it came out of left field.
That one, Petty.
Neil Peart?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was a gut punch for me personally. Yeah, when it's somebody you really, really like, and you hear it, and you're like, no.
Do you think? Do you think there's a current artist out there that, if or when they pass before you, that it would actually make you cry? Like Nick, if Eddie Vedder died or Dave Matthews died,
if either one of those guys went, I'd be distraught.
Yeah.
Like just musicians?
No, because no.
All right, then
I'll say actors too. Actresses.
People
Is
in the
there
public
anybody? Because I often wonder that, like, if Trey passed away.
Oh, that day, as they say, on that day you shall mourn.
Yeah.
What about Mike Gordon? He's the bass player for Fish.
What about Jeff Gordon?
Cactus.
How about Jeff Gordon, the race car driver?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you meant the local record guy. Live Nation.
Live Nation guy. But I wonder. I wonder if I would, how upset I would be.
How did you
when Trey dies, or if he were to die?
I mean, think about all they mean in your. I'll tell you when Walter Becker, Steely Dan has meant so much in my life.
Yeah,
you couldn't even talk to me on the day Jeffrey Dahmer died.
Yeah,
no.
I remember where I was when I found out Walter Becker passed away. I was on the front porch of my house down in Wildwood Crest,
and you were making gum.
Yep.
Yep.
Gum maker?
No, I tried it one time. It didn't turn out so good.
Turning some gum.
I will be hurt profoundly when Paul McCartney passes.
Yeah. Yes.
That will be a tough one. He has lived a wonderful life, and I will be terribly sad if and when the day comes before I pass if Paul goes, because he has been such an important person musically for me. That I won't help but be able to be very upset over that, I would think, because he's just, I see him as a beautiful human being too. You know.
All right. So what about Ringo?
I'll be sad, but he is not. I'll be honest. He has not been as impactful as Paul has.
So
when George died, I was very sad, but it didn't hit me as hard as I'm sure.
I know what you
Paul.
mean, and that's kind of sad in and of itself. There's two people; they're both passing away, but like Paul's death will weigh more.
But to be honest, we're all pulling for Ringo first,
right? I mean, if you have to root for a Beatle to die,
Ringo will never die.
Ringo is in sensational shape.
You can't believe
he's the one person on earth who makes Paul look like he's falling apart.
I mean, when Charlie Watts passed away, it sucked. It was really sad, but it's like it won't have the import of Keith or Mick.
Charlie looked like he was going to die in 1978, just because he looked like he was 80 years old back then.
But how the hell
everybody thought Keith Richards was going to die.
There's a case to be made that he is like the eternal man.
Right.
He will never die.
Keith Richards.
Yeah.
Him and Ozzy. We need honestly.
They
need
caught up with Ozzy finally.
It did.
Yeah,
you're right.
They caught up with him finally.
Ozzy looked like he had the Mickey Mantle gene, which Mickey Mantle died before he should have died too. So if you party hard, sometimes it will have its effect.
Was he a partier, Mickey Mantle?
Oh, yeah.
He was drunk for games.
Dude, he had to get another liver. He was a hardcore drinker.
He'd be drinking in the dugout. And
He kept a spare liver in the dugout.
Just in case.
Is that a bit?
No, it's my extra liver.
He probably missed out on 100 more home runs in his career. I mean, he abused alcohol so much. It's sad.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of who else, but Paul, anybody else from Rush, Neil or Alex, I will be very upset. Not Neil, I'm sorry, Getty or Alex would be upsetting to me because they've been important to me.
That's why I've been going to more shows for, I guess, older
to make
people.
sure
I mean,
you
I guess,
see them.
Well, and Kurt was only 27, but like if it's somebody that I really like, I'm not going to pass this up anymore. I want to go and see them before it's too late.
I passed up Dead tickets, and I was like, I'll catch them next time.
And
it was the last time Jerry played in Philadelphia with the Grateful Dead, and and so I'm with you on that one, Kath. Also, I never saw Tom Petty.
That I
never
did
saw the
many
Eagles.
times, yeah.
I never saw Huey Lewis, and obviously Huey Lewis is still alive, but he's not touring anymore, and that really bums me out. I wish I could have seen that guy.
If you've never seen Bruce Springsteen, you should go see him.
Seen Bruce. Yeah.
I've never seen the Stones. I need to go see the Stones.
That's
I
a month
need
and a
to
half.
do it.
They're in town.
Preston, I said I was listening to Pierre one day, and he was talking about that. I'm like, you know what? I should go.
Yeah.
I should go this time around because even though they say it all the time, it may be the
To be
last.
honest,
Steve, you saw David Bowie?
I saw Bowie, yes. I saw the Stones.
Some other people that have passed.
Sure. The Stones was, a lot of it was that, Preston, that I should see them. Now with the new album.
That's great.
I would love to see, because I think this is maybe one of their absolute best albums ever.
June 11 at the Link.
Okay. You guys are really bringing me over, man. It's making me sad.
You're right.
That's from Better Off Dead.
Oh, okay.
Or no, not Better Off Dead.
It is Better Off
Is it Better
Dead.
Off Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Better
Right
Off.
off.
Right off. On.
Hi, Grandma.
I know you kids love this disco thing. All right. Well, anyhow, it was 30 years ago that Kurt took his own life. He was found on the 8th, and supposedly he committed the act on the 5th. But it's hard to believe it was 30 years ago, and obviously that music is still as impactful as it was
Absolutely.
back then.
So,
All right.
Using the banner.
And I apologize for using the word committed. People who have had people who've taken their own lives prefer to not use that word, and I get it. It's all good.
What are you supposed to say now? I forget.
You can say kill themselves. It's just the word committed sometimes feels as if it's a crime, and some people are sensitive to that. So I just wanted to point that out. Anyway, we're going to take a break. We have some other things to get to. We have the Bizarre File on the way, and music news and trash and all that stuff still coming up, and Word of the Week prize. So we'll have your chance to win. Stay put.
Do this for traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
Connor just brought up it was John Baker. It was 7 Mary 3 was his call sign on Chip. So there you go. All right, let's do it.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
That was me saying, let's do the Bizarre File. We're going to start with this. Police in West Vancouver say that a joyride by a 13-year-old in a Lamborghini set off a single vehicle crash that resulted in a total write-off by the insurance company. Police say that they were called
Guess what I get to do?
to a report of a crash last week, and they found the Lamborghini Huracan badly damaged in a ditch. No one was at the scene, so officers began a search to ensure those inside during the crash weren't hurt. Police said that with the cooperation of the vehicle's owner, they were able to promptly locate the 13-year-old driver who confessed to taking a friend along for the ride. The youth also admitted to being unable to control the car.
Yes, adults have trouble controlling those cars.
In the dark and rainy conditions. Police say that the teen has been charged under the Motor Vehicle Act with speeding, driving without due care, failing to remain at the scene of a crash, and driving without a license. A Muncie, Indiana man has been arrested after police said he robbed his barber and threatened to shoot up the barbershop over an argument about a messed up haircut. Davian
I'll kill you!
Haynard was arrested and charged felony robbery and intimidation. It stemmed from an argument between him and the barber. Officers were called for an alleged robbery that happened an hour prior. They arrived and they spoke with a man later identified as Haynard, who said that during the scheduled haircut, the barber, quote, messed up his hair.
You put the party up front and the business in the back.
Haynard admitted that he got upset with the barber, but let the haircut continue. However, Haynard said the barber again messed up, causing him to rip off the cape and stand up in the chair. He told officers that he began arguing with the barber about messing his line up.
Oh.
The barber told Haynard that the cut was fine, and Haynard agreed to sit back down and let the barber at least fix the fade. Officers then spoke with the barber, who said that Haynard kept yelling about his line being messed up during the haircut. And then while finishing the haircut, the barber said that Haynard got upset again, ripped off the cape, stood up, and while standing up, he told the victim, "How about we just fight? I want to fight you.
I want to fight you."
After saying this, Haynard
I want to fight you.
put his hand next to his waist and said, "How about I just shoot this place up?"
So
Get away from me.
in barbershop lingo, they call that a cape?
I guess so, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what you wear to keep the hair from
Right.
getting all
I
over
would think
you.
of it more like a smock or
Yeah.
like an apron.
No, it's a cape.
It's a cape.
A smock?
Yeah.
He told the victim also to give him all his money. So they have video footage of Haynard yelling before the barber pulls out his wallet. He's seen snatching the wallet and the barber and pulling out a $20 bill. When he started to give the wallet back, he noticed another $20 bill in the wallet, and he decided to take that one too. So he's arrested.
Don't mind if I do.
And booked into the Delaware County Jail.
Oh,
hey.
a local
Wait.
story.
In Indiana.
In Indiana.
yeah.
There's a Delaware County in every state.
In every state. Two friends in Florida. This is idiots, okay? Played a game in which they would test each other's readiness to face real danger. As it turned out, the only threat was to themselves. The Volusia County Sheriff's Office arrested 25-year-old Brad Markey Perez after he allegedly shot his friend by mistake. Deputies responded to a shooting at a home. They found the victim suffering from a gunshot wound to the jaw.
Oh, my God.
Paramedics took him to the hospital. He survived.
Okay, I'm fine.
Perez told deputies that he and the victim like to have drills where they practice each other and the importance of being vigilant of their surroundings, especially while armed with a firearm. Both own firearms, and they would have, quote, drills where one would try to get the other to jump on the other as a form of training. These drills are usually performed with unloaded firearms or using cap-style ammunition that is a non-functioning round. He said the victim was walking out of the kitchen with something in his hand. Perez thought the victim was holding either a baton or a kitchen knife, thinking that it was a drill. Perez said that he stood up from the couch, unholstered his gun, and pointed it at the victim, and it went off.
So these 25 years old doing drills like this.
Yeah. The suspect said that he thinks he accidentally left off the safety and pulled the trigger.
I'm thinking of a kind of relationship that Inspector Clouseau and Cato had.
Totally. I was thinking the same thing.
Now, you
Steve.
jump out and scare me.
Yeah. Perez advised that he usually only keeps a round in the chamber when he goes to sleep in the event of an intruder. 3 young children who are 1, 2, and 7 live at the home, and 2 of them were in the room when the shooting occurred. They weren't injured. Detectives went to the hospital to interview the victim. He was adamant that he did not want to press charges against his buddy and asked the deputies to stop investigating the matter, but because there were children near the incident, they continued to investigate.
Yeah, that's probably wise.
And in a second interview with deputies, the victim said that Perez told him before the shooting in a joking manner, "Bro, I could assassinate you right now in the blink of an eye."
Come on,
bro.
Despite
Hey, you want to do drill? Let me
vic-
finish it first.
Despite the victim not cooperating, deputies still decided to file child abuse charges against Perez because he reasonably should have known the results of drawing a firearm around people not knowing it was loaded and could reasonably expect to result in physical or mental injury to the children.
Well, were there wives or girlfriends associated with this? I mean,
It doesn't. Yeah, I don't think so. I think just the 2 guys and the kids were there at the time.
I gotta tell her what happened.
That's the worst part of it all. All right, and then one last story, and then we will wrap it up. Let's go to... I got a few here that could be good. Oh, yeah, I like this one. All right. This is in Tennessee. A man is facing more than a dozen charges after being accused of randomly firing several shots in the streets of downtown Nashville and assaulting officers. And you got to hear the reason why he did this, okay? Officers responded to shots fired... The call was shortly before 6 a.m. at the intersection of Commerce Street and Lewis. And upon arrival, police located 26-year-old Craig Miller and another individual sitting at the corner of the intersection. When they asked if they had shot a gun or heard gunshots, the duo allegedly told them no. A delivery driver then spoke to officers and told them that he heard a series of gunshots and observed Miller waving a firearm around and shooting off 2 rounds in different directions. Officers found the firearm in the parking lot next to the intersection. When they asked about the firearm, Miller responded he had a gun, but it wasn't with him. He was then taken into custody for reckless endangerment due to the witness verifying his identity. Miller later admitted to officers, this is 6 o'clock in the morning, by the way, admitted to officers that he had just divorced his wife and decided to fire 8 rounds as a celebration for regaining his freedom.
Oh, my God.
Of course.
In the middle of an intersection at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Where else would you do it?
Officers found a THC pen in his pocket and reported that he exhibited extremely slurred speech and was unable to care for himself. During the arrest, 2 more victims approached officers and told them that they were next to Miller when he fired the shots. So he's obviously facing those charges.
I'm sure the wife is someplace shooting off a few rounds as well.
Totally. It's just rid of this
guy.
idiot.
You know, you brought up the Tennessee thing, and it just reminded me. Remember that story a while ago of in Nashville? I think it was an RV that blew up.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
I do.
And did we ever find out what that was about?
That's a good question. The guy had a loudspeaker and was making
Warning
announcements,
people,
warning people about it.
I never heard anything more about that.
I'm going to follow up on that because just yesterday, for the hell of it, Steve, I decided to. I don't know why I was thinking about it. Do you remember the Las Vegas mass shooting?
Another one. Another one.
And I'm like, did they ever find out why that guy did what he did? And I went back and I did some research, and they still have no conclusive answers as to why this guy went on that shooting rampage.
Either they don't have conclusive answers, or they do, and they're not releasing the information. But it is one of those weird, bizarre things because the guy checks in, Preston. They have footage of him checking in with all of these weapons going up to the room.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Nick's looking up that the van thing.
It happened on Christmas Day, Steve, in 2020, the RV in Nashville, and he died. He they believe that it was an intentional suicide, and then or taking his own
Santa's
life.
got to go.
What happened?
It was Christmas.
Yeah.
It was Christmas. All right, so.
And then 8 people were injured.
So it was a suicide.
Last thing he said was, "Hi, Grandma."
Oh, my. He was babbling all kinds of gibberish over the.
But his motivation was apparently.
Hi, Grandma.
Motivation was apparently suicide driven by life stressors.
Wow.
Well, that's going out big.
Pretty messed up. All right, why don't we take a break? Cleanse palate a little bit. We'll come back in a second, get the lesson question, trash, and music news. So stay with us. We'll have it when we return. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, high 53. Sunday, 56 degrees, partly cloudy. Monday, 63, and then there you go. Tuesday, 74 degrees, our high temperature, and partly cloudy skies. It's going to feel way different when we eventually get there. So coming along shortly. We have some stuff to give away via the lesson question. We're going to give away a 4-pack of tickets for the Adventure Aquarium Bubble Bash, which is running now through the 28th. And the question we will go with this morning is, what local food eatery did Nirvana once do a commercial for? 215-263-WMMR. What local food eatery did Nirvana once do a commercial for? 215-263-WMMR. Wasn't that long ago, around 9:30 we rattled that off. Let's see if you know the answer.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you this morning by Mini Melts of America. Breaking ice cream news. You can get Mini Melts ice cream delivered right to your door on the Wawa app. You're just a few clicks away from enjoying your favorite Mini Melts flavor. Download the Wawa app today. What's happening this morning, Steve?
Well, Kanye West's wife, Bianca Censori, turning heads again in L.A. Wednesday night as she was out and about wearing just a bra and completely see-through pants. Censori was apparently having a great time fielding job offers from local pimps. One of Diddy's former top-rated lieutenants named G. Depp was released from prison after serving 13 years. The less-than-bright G. Depp told reporters that the G stands for Johnny.
Hey!
And finally, Tiger Woods revealing that he is completely abstaining from sex to prepare for playing in the Masters. Woods says that the closest he is getting to sex right now is putting on smooth jazz when he washes his balls.
The G stands for Johnny reminds me of a video we did for our senior year in high school, and my buddy Danny was one of the people that they went to, and Danny said he was giving somebody a standing O, and he stood up with his arms like this, and the guy behind the camera goes, "What does the O stand for?" And Danny goes, "Honesty."
Was he serious?
I think
yeah,
so,
oh my
possibly. I don't think he was trying to make a joke, but it was honesty. All right, let's see if we can get the answer. What local food eatery did Nirvana once do a commercial for? And we'll go to Brian for an answer. Hey, Brian, morning, bud.
Good money.
Good money to see you. Very well done, Brian. That starts on Monday. All right, what local food eatery did Nirvana once do a commercial for?
Oh, of course, it's Pat's Chili Dog.
Of course. Hang on, Brian. Got yourself a 4-pack of tickets for Adventure Aquarium Bubble Bash running now through April 28th. You can pop into spring at Bubble Bash featuring Insta-worthy photo spots with larger-than-life bubbles and a shimmering shark cage, extended hours this week, and an underwater scavenger hunt. And you can purchase tickets at adventureaquarium.com.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Anyway.
All right. Brought to you this morning by Berganti Wines, Italy's finest. Available now at select Pennsylvania Acme's. You can visit BergantiWines.com for details. That's BergantiWines.com. It's, by the way, it's Briganti, not Berganti. Briganti, Briganti, wines.com. Michael Ward, the guitarist for the Wallflowers from 1995 to 2001, passed away. He was 57 years old. Yeah, it was on Wednesday. The band posted a tribute to the rocker on their official Facebook page. The post reads, "With love and gratitude, the Wallflowers say farewell to the great and singular Michael Ward. Michael's role and talents will forever remain a crucial part of the band's history. His contributions to music began before his time with the Wallflowers and continued long after his time with the band." And they wrote, and I thought this was fun, "Listening to Thin Lizzy on a sorrowful day. Rest now, Mike. Much love to his family and his 2 children." So I guess he was a Thin Lizzy fan. I don't know.
Wow.
He played on the band's 2 most successful albums, 1996's Bringing Down the Horse and 2000's Breach. Ward had departed the group in 2001, though he wanted to quit earlier due to a falling out that he had with Jacob Dylan. He had said at the time in a 2001 interview, "About a year ago, I quit the band and then was persuaded into staying by our manager, Andy Slater, so I stayed through the whole Breach tour." He said, "For me, what music is all about is sitting down and creating songs from scratch."
Right.
He said, "That's my life, and it's not really about adding guitar parts to someone else's music. That's not really satisfying for me. For a long time, we were writing together, and then that stopped, and that made me pretty unhappy." But over time, Ward and Dylan seemingly made up. Ward even wished Dylan a happy birthday on his Instagram just this past December. No cause of death was immediately given, but he was slated to perform in Vegas today. So it must have been
something quick.
Yeah. He was also a founding member of the band School of Fish, by the way.
Really?
Who I do remember. I don't remember any of their hits, but I remember the name of that band. I think they visited DRE back
I do remember the band, yeah.
When we worked there. So that was sad news to hear. If there's one thing that Gene Simmons isn't afraid of, it's making bold that Pop House, a Swedish entertainment group, has purchased the entire music catalog and brand name. Simmons told People magazine it felt like the natural thing to do, even though he maintains that the band weren't looking for it initially.
That is a massive get. They're getting not only their entire catalog, they're getting their image,
the likeness,
the likeness,
brand
everything.
Name. He said, "Life happens when you're busy making important plans."
To be honest, I thought it would have gone for more than $300 million.
Yeah. Where'd you see the price?
I saw it in one of the articles about the sale.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Interesting. He said, "We were planning our respectful, proud walking off into the sunset because we've been touring. We had been touring for a half century." But he said, he didn't want to go that route, the route of continually touring until physically couldn't do it anymore. He said, "I don't want to be out there with my walker." Upon meeting the team at Pop House, the band and them broke.
Wonderful people, the chicken lovers.
He said they broke bread, talked about our families, and we got to be friends. As a result, Pop House acquired the entirety of the Kiss brand for an undisclosed sum, but I guess you read it was $300 million.
Yeah.
Per the company's press release. Pop House Entertainment Group is the brainchild of Swedish billionaire Connie Jansson and ABBA member Bjorn Ulvaeus. who began the company together in 2014 and have acquired the catalogs of Cyndi Lauper, Avicii, and Swedish House Mafia, among other stars.
So I'm wondering how, because the goal is to purchase the legendary, the Kathy, you talked about not seeing a band. So what if there was a holographic stage concert-like event that wasn't $700 a ticket, but was like $50? Would you go see that?
It's not the same for me.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think they're banking on the fact that, whereas some people might say, this is a thing unto itself. It's not going to replace seeing a live concert, but it's its own thing.
Well, yeah, and that's what they had announced at the end of the tour.
Right.
They had these AI-generated, images of themselves or something they were
Hi,
going to do.
ladies and gentlemen. I'm holographic Gene Simmons.
But I don't know what their plans are with that stuff.
So does that mean anything that if I were to purchase anything Kiss, that money would not go to Kiss, it would go to this pop company?
That's it. They purchased the catalog.
So. Yeah, they bought it, so Kiss gets the money from this, the band members, and they don't continue to make money. And I guess part of that is if you're still ownership, you still have to run part of the business and all that, and they probably just want to...
Well, they're looking at their lives right now. I mean, in the beginning, maybe at a certain point, and a lot of them have been doing it. Sting just did it, did he not?
Yeah. And I think part of that is just walking away from the business side of it, and they don't want to have to deal with that anymore. How much more money are they going to make between now and then the time they die?
Well, and also, Gene committed himself to reading that list of chickens' names.
Yes, it was taxing.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to go on for years.
And finally, Zeke.
You went in alphabetical order. I didn't even know.
And, well, I deviated periodically.
Simmons.
I want to go with Kathy to Floral and Hardy. I want to work with Succulents. That's what I want to do.
Hey, real
Are
quick, are we having an earthquake?
Yeah, did you feel the room
Yeah,
shake?
it is moving.
I'm serious.
No, you're right. I feel my butt kind of moving a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, your butt's moving all the time, man.
Cool.
Look at my microphone.
Yeah.
Well, it was waggling a little bit there.
I don't
Are they
know.
working on something downstairs?
That might have been a tremor. I don't know, Marissa.
I don't know. I felt it shaking. I thought it was either Connor or Kyle kind of like just shaking the counter here.
Oh, I felt it underneath my chair.
Yeah,
Wow. Maybe they're working in the building.
Maybe.
Yeah, there is construction in the building, so it might be that.
Okay.
It's still disconcerting.
Yeah, we've heard them working before and heard sounds and stuff through the walls, but I've never felt it
And are they doing construction in the
kind of
building?
shake.
Yeah, they're
like
building
that.
an earthquake.
Yeah.
Stop.
I wonder if anybody else has noticed something like that. All right, we'll wait and see if some.
Ask the noticer.
some
Holy crap,
information.
we're getting a lot of texts. People are feeling the same thing.
Shaking in Hamilton. Hang on, Case. It was shaking in Hamilton, New Jersey. Belmar.
I just got a text from a friend. Oh my God, dude, I literally just said that my entire house just shook.
Oh, my neighbors were on a group text. They just said anyone's house shaking.
Yeah, we just had an earthquake.
The construction in the building is causing all these problems throughout the Delaware Valley.
That's pretty wild. Should we go now to the breaking news?
Sure.
Yep.
Yep.
Nope.
Nope,
I got-
sorry, it's not that.
Yeah, here we go.
Do it again.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
I'm field correspondent Gene Simmons.
No, that is that's interesting. That they have proof if they that far out.
Yeah,
Yep,
I'll be
in
curious to see what the seismic level of it was.
Friends in Philadelphia said our whole house just shook.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
We're getting hundreds of texts.
Okay. Yeah. So apparently that's happening, and the phones are all lighting up right now.
Work truck just wow. Huh.
Yeah. So I think we just felt a little tremor there.
Yeah. Well,
That's the second earthquake I've ever felt.
And both times related to the show. One time was at Camp Out for Hunger.
Yeah. Here's somebody, Kennett Square, Delco, Middleton, Delaware, Springfield, Doylestown,
This is-
Franklinville, Honeybrook. These are all people texting in right now.
And Preston,
LBI.
what you're reading, like that's a LBI to Doylestown.
That's a large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
Collingswood, Plymouth Meeting, Feasterville, Wilmington. All these people are feeling tremors, and they're all texting in right now.
Do you want to reveal what it is? It's
Lancaster
a seismic
County.
cash giveaway.
Yeah.
My friend Mark just felt in the Lehigh Valley.
Okay. Wow.
Is that
That's
typical?
big.
For
It is
it-
the end of the world.
No, but I'm saying like when you
Yes.
are in an earthquake, is
Yeah.
it typical for it to be that large of an
Yeah,
area?
you can
Okay.
have you can have entire. Yeah.
Oh, somebody just texted in and said, not feeling it in Thailand right now.
See, lucky
I knew it
bastards.
was-
You're good.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's finish this segment up and see what else we can find out.
Maybe we'll get interviewed by the news.
Maybe. Shake it up, baby. All right. So anyhow, I have 2 more quick things. Though he's no longer physically with him, Wolfgang Van Halen never forgets the honor to honor his dad on stage. Speaking of people, for this week's cover story on Mom Valerie Bertinelli, the Mammoth WVH frontman shares why he honors his father's role in his life after every performance. The reason I do what I do is because of my dad. So if I didn't, or at least think about him throughout the process, I'd be doing a disservice to my existence. And that's why he points to the sky at the end of every concert as a salute to his dad. He said, I think it's very important to establish that, to thank my dad every night, every time I'm on stage, to thank my father, and to know that he's always there with me every night. Reflecting on his close relationship with his mom, he stresses the importance of making their time together count. He said, a big thing is that she's the only parent I have, and so I think it's important to be close to your family and to make that time count because it doesn't last forever.
By the way, I just figured out why I didn't feel it as prominently as you guys did. I'm standing on a rubber mat. I have basically a shock absorber I'm standing on.
Up close to New York, they're saying they felt it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What fault line runs through here? Is it the New Madrid fault?
I think it's not your...
It's not your fault.
Casey.
All right. And then finally, the FM band is playing. Kyle's band, Keenan's Irish Pub. The Polar Plunge is on Saturday, and it is at 4:30. They're doing a charity event, so if you want to go see FM band,
yes, they're great.
You can check them out at 4:30 on Saturday. They will be playing there. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back in a second. Letter of the Day, Word of the Week prize, and more, so stay with us. Rocks Island in the sun. 10:38 with the Preston and Steve Show. We just had an earthquake in the area. We were on the air and started feeling a little vibration, and we're a little confused by that. But turns out, and reports coming in of at least a 4.8 on the Richter scale earthquake that was the epicenter. Looks like it was in Lebanon, New Jersey, or at least that's where they detected that. So yeah, that's what you really felt.
Multiple states.
Yeah. We were seeing information as far up as Boston.
Yes.
Just a little while ago. So, and the reports said the texts that were coming in here were Poconos, Delaware, all through New Jersey, obviously. And so, yeah, that was legit.
That is pretty wild.
That's the real deal.
I really didn't feel it because, again, I'm standing on a rubberized mat, so that's kind of a shock absorber. I've been in a 5.6 was the most powerful that I've ever been.
Wow.
Huh. All right. Well, this one was a 4.8, and we felt just tremors right here, but I'm wondering how significant that was for people who are closer to the epicenter.
In different areas, yeah. You're going to experience it differently. Wow.
Yeah, and it all depends on where these things happen, that, what kind of damage it can cause. So it's too early to tell. It was literally just a handful of minutes ago as to whether anything occurred, anything damage or anything like that happened. So do not know. But that was pretty weird. Because I felt the shaking and I thought, somebody's walking around or,
Well, the construction, we've felt that before because of the construction here, but I don't remember seeing them doing any work like that anyway in the building.
No. So that was kind of weird. Interesting. Pierre just walked in. Did you feel anything, Pierre?
I didn't.
Okay.
I was on the freeway at the time. I was on the Schuylkill.
Did you hear us when we were?
I did.
Yeah.
And Jason was my producer at the time. I don't know how long ago it was. Must be 9 or 10 years ago. And he walked in the doorway, and I turned to look at him, and he was vibrating. And I said, and he goes, and his face changed, and he goes, what's happening? And I said, I believe we're having an earthquake. Growing up in San Francisco, these are relatively minor compared to what they get out there, and yet it was so noticeable. It's very disconcerting. So when he said the microphone was moving,
wow,
I completely knew what you're talking about. It's a strange phenomenon.
It is. It is. There's and being in California, obviously, you can get a little desensitized to it. It's wonderfully parodied in the movie L.A. Story, where they're all sitting around having having lunch. There's all these people sitting at the table, and just everything starts shaking. And like, it's only about a 4.3. It's okay. You know? Yeah, no, it's more like a 4.2, I think. Yeah, can you pass me the sugar? And how just blasé they become about them after a while. But it's pretty unique. My sister was hurt really bad in the bad L.A. Earthquakes that happened in the early 90s.
Yeah, the Northridge.
That was Northridge.
Yeah, she was trying to get out of her apartment. Like it was shaking so bad she fell down the stairs.
Wow.
And
My brother was out there, Preston, and that's at that level. The big bureau was moving across the room. Furniture was falling over, and that during there was a big stretch of, they have those super high bridges, those overpasses there. One of those collapsed. I remember that was heavy duty.
I went out there after San Francisco had an earthquake during the World Series.
Yeah.
The A's were playing the
That's when that
Giants.
collapsed.
And part of the Bay Bridge, which connects the East Bay, Oakland, to San Francisco, caved in.
Was it the Nimitz?
No. Well, it may have affected a portion of the Nimitz Freeway, but there's a Interstate 80 goes over the Bay Bridge from Oakland right into San Francisco, and it's the main connector again from the East Bay into the city, and a whole section of it collapsed, and it was. And the station said, we're going to send you out there to cover it. And so I went out for a couple of days. I got the mayor. Our mic flag got on CNN, which was pretty wild.
Wow.
Because all these microphones were in the mayor's face.
Right.
And someone called and said, do you know MMR's, I didn't get on, but the mic flag got on. And then I did get a little chat with the mayor, which was cool.
Well, we might feel something again because sometimes there's these aftershocks. That ripple through, so you might feel another tremor in a little while.
So when it happened before, I thought I was having a flashback because like some kind of LSD type of thing because it everything vibrated. I don't know if you noticed that, but there was this vibrating. Everything looked like it was moving in such a way as
like an LSD trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, that was an experience we all had together there for a moment. We do need to do the letter of the day if you're ready.
I am.
Here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by The Letter.
R as in rockin'.
All right, and we now need a winning caller. Take caller number 8 at 215-263. WMMR and see if you know the word of the week. So get on it now because we got this prize we would love to give to you. So caller number 8, 215-263 WMMR. Get on board. What is happening today?
Well, it's going to be a fun day. We'll have more Roger Daltrey tickets to give away. It just went on sale for the Keswick Show June 10th. You guys were talking about legends and seeing them. The Stones are June 11th. The singer of The Who is June 10th. So on that Monday and Tuesday, we have two of the biggest legends in rock and roll in our vicinity, which is pretty cool. So we'll do a block of Who and Roger Daltrey stuff, a block of the Black Keys. That show just went on sale as well. I think Brent has another pair of tickets to give away. Jackie's got ELO, a second ELO show, I think went on sale. So we'll get a little ELO into the mix as well. And we'll continue our covers week, cover songs all this week. And we've had a lot of fun with it. And we've got some cool songs to conclude with today.
Very, very nice. All right. So we are looking for caller number 8, and it is Jessica that we will go to. Hi there, Jessica.
Hi, guys.
Hi. All right, Jessica, if you know the word of the week prize, we have if you know the word of the week, we have a prize for you. What is it?
Cheer.
Richter scale.
Yes. Richter scale. All right, Jessica. Since you got it right, we're going to give you a 4-pack of tickets to the session of your choice at the Atlantic City Beer and Music Festival, April 12th and 13th, featuring music from Hot Mulligan, Saves the Day, and Goldfinger as well. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right, hang on. We'll get your information. And don't forget, over 100 breweries pouring over 400 different brews at the AC Convention Center. Tickets and information at acbeerfest.com. I'll take a moment to thank our sponsors. The Preston and Steve Show has been brought to you today by Drunken. The Preston and Steve Show runs on Drunken. Also brought to you by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors. Next week on this program, we'll talk to our buddy, the chief astronomer of the Franklin Institute, Derek Pitts, because there is, of course, the eclipse next week on Monday. Carney Wilson.
Very cool.
Will be joining us.
Very cool.
From Wilson Phillips and others. And Dan Soder will be on the program too. So we got some good guests to get to next week. And the weather's going to be better too.
Yes.
That's it. We're done. Rage on. Have a great weekend and we'll see you later, gang. Bye-bye.